Welcome to Talk of the Tavern. A little about us. We're your at-home interactive weekly geek con, all blended with wit, sarcasm, and a pub-like atmosphere. We're adults talking about adult topics and using adult language. We laugh and make jokes about almost everything. We don't intend to upset, but some folks have their feelings hurt easily. This is all done in humor in the style of the great offenders such as George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Sam Kinison, George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, Chris Rock, and others. So grab your vice of choice, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourself in the company of great people, hot toddies, and guests alike, because here we come.
Put that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile in your head. Come on in, the door's open. You'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
And welcome to, what are we at? July 12th. It's a Thursday. Welcome to Thursday on Talk of the Tavern. And I am Travis Sivart. I am your host, and I really have to fix your guys' camera. So I'm going to intro myself, and then when I go to intro you two, I'll fix it so you guys aren't like all this in your little box on the screen. Okay, what are my vices today? I'm starting with coffee, trying to finish that off, and I am moving to a superhero pint glass with Coke Zero and lime. And the reason I'm doing that, and the reason I'm dressed in my beach gear today, is because later today on Andrea's channel, who I'll introduce her in a second, we are going to play the superhero game we have, and they're going to the beach in celebration of Andrea reaching a certain number of followers and also becoming an affiliate on Twitch here. So, hallelujah, praise the Lord, Jesus saves, and all that. Hey, Andrea, what's your vices, baby? What?
Okay, I am on mute.
So your
Tomorrow's
vice
Friday
is like
the
muting yourself.
Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. I just thought of that. Tea. I have tea, and I'm going to be doing time out. Because I'm going to be doing some work. I have to leave here in a little while to go to work.
That's right. Is that all you got?
That's all I got is tea. Oh, well, I have chapstick. Does that count?
Is that a vine? Are you going to eat it?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
It's peppermint.
Okay, pass the ball. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say ball to the Brit. Pass the rod to the next
Just
guy.
don't say football.
Yeah, we've heard.
Oh, you said you weren't going to mention it.
I never said that.
Well, we didn't mention Croatia yet.
Oh, man. Now you're just rubbing it in.
We're good hosts. So introduce yourself. Let them know what your vices are today, buddy.
Well, my name is Richard Knowles. Travis has kindly let me come on the show once more. And my vice for today, when it comes out of the freezer, is going to be Chick-fil-A's peach milkshake.
Oh.
I bought it this morning and left it in the car, so it's kind of running. So it's back in the freezer for some rehab.
You know what? On the bright side, at least as Chick-fil-A, it's a real milkshake. If it was McDonald's, it'd be like this noxious mucus and. Oof.
Don't put mucus in the freezer.
Ever.
Don't put mucus in there. Even peach flavored mucus.
Yeah, don't put baby in the corner.
Or the freezer.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, the peach milkshake. They only sell them in the summer, and they are something else.
They are pretty
something
good,
else.
Aren't they?
Yeah, it's just big enough to put me into a total sugar coma.
That's what she said.
But it tastes really good. That's what she said.
I don't know how much. Andrew,
Try this new milkshake. We call it the Bill Cosby.
Oh, no. Too soon, man. Too soon.
Oh, no. I can't let it go. I'm sorry. I just can't let it lie.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Andrew, you are so close to your camera, the top of your head is cut off. That's much better, thank you. And I like the way that
Well,
Bobby's just
because I have
forward when
my
you do that.
my laptop close to me because I have to type.
I know, but we gotta get. Does your camera fit on a tripod?
It does, and my tripod's
Do you need a tripod?
in the closet.
Oh, we'll have to whip your tripod out if you know what I mean.
Whip your tripod out the closet.
I can do that. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, you can do it
Oh,
right now?
after we
Okay,
do a
that's fine.
toast.
Oh,
we're
a
not
toast.
talking. We're
A
off. There you go.
Hold on a second. I'm
And
adjusting. What?
while we're toasting, everyone hit that share button and let everyone know where you are and to come join us.
Yes, or let everybody know where you are so they don't come join us if they're schmucks. So either one is okay. We're not judgy.
Schmucks are welcome. It's okay.
Are you sure schmucks are welcome? I don't know. Okay, let's just do a toast and worry about the schmucks later. Hey, our topic today is going to be storytelling in books, movies, and games. So here's to just sharing a good story with your friends.
Here.
Too a good story.
Really, you're just gonna
Oh,
go with
poor
that?
Richard doesn't have a drink or a milkshake or nothing right now.
Or
Hold it,
friends, apparently,
hold it.
because he's like, here's the good stories. Fuck the friends. Keep your goddamn friends. They drink my milkshake. My milkshake brings all my friends to the yard.
Oh God. You've opened the door, Travis. You've opened the door, man.
Hey, Richard, you know how pumpkin spice is like the white girl thing and everything? Have you seen the meme that says IPAs are the white man's pumpkin spice?
Oh no, but they are.
They kind of are, aren't they? It's
They are.
now I have a 4 left out of a 12 pack of IPAs in the fridge, but I don't actually like IPAs very much. I got it because it was a decent beer and I wanted something. Okay, the honest truth is I didn't see it said IPA all over the damn package. I
But
saw
you still
variety
drunk 8 of them, right?
over a period of a couple weeks.
Oh
Yeah,
that's-
I'd love to
It
tell
was
you.
not a pretty thing to watch. He's like, oh, ew. Let me try it again. Ew. Let me try it again.
He choked them down somehow, did he?
She's really describing how I drink these things. I taste them like, oh, it's not so good. Oh,
Oh, let me try
but
it
I'm
again.
Irish, so you're not going to throw away the liquor, are you?
Yeah.
It's funny.
If they find that out, they'll revoke your Irish card.
Well, if you don't open it, you can say, well, I saved that for company. But once it's opened, you're kind of
All bets
obligated.
are off.
You,
Yeah.
you kind of got to drink it.
Yeah, it's the truth. Where the hell did Chuck go? Chuck, you were here a minute ago. Come back, you little Chucky schmuck. Chuck the schmuck. What?
I don't know.
I don't know. Hey, Jamin's here. Jamin, are you
I
lurking in the
see
background?
that. I'm like,
You don't have to
hey,
answer if you're lurking.
how you feeling?
Oh yeah, Jamin got in a fight with a
Dinosaur.
genetically altered gorilla blended with a tiger.
Wow.
It's better than saying you tripped in the driveway, isn't it? Let's go with that. I'd appreciate that consideration when I end up tripping over something and going down.
Oh, yeah.
No, he's attacked by an alligator that was mutated with a sperm whale. It was horrible.
Oh yeah, I'm covered in shark bites.
They were miniaturized sharks, so Sharknado
Yeah,
was
they're
more like,
tiny.
I just can't.
put all the sharks in a little glass and go like this, and you're like, look, Sharknado.
Well, I stubbed my toe on my shark vacuum cleaner.
That could be it. You're attacked by a shark.
Shark bites. Yeah, there you go.
It's hard to explain the Roomba attack. It's got little line marks across you.
I couldn't outrun it.
Fucking IPAs.
Oh my goodness.
See, and this
That's
is what
great.
the viewers are missing.
Oh, that must be like being chased by a flat Dalek.
It's the dime store feature of a Dalek.
Ah.
See what it does?
Oh.
Anyhow.
Oh, there.
Okay. So, no matter how many people we have in here, we're going to have this conversation, Richard and Andrea, where I am going to just ever so excitedly geek out about story structure
Mm-hmm.
using the framework of books and movies as kind of the guiding light, but then relating it all back to gaming. And by the way, storytelling in books, movies, and gamings though they have a lot of similarities, they're very different creatures, and you have to deliver the product in a different pace, so to put it. Movies done right, every single word, every single shot in that movie is ultimately important, especially if you're taking a 200 or 400 page book and shrinking it down into 2 hours.
Hmm.
Whereas a book, you have a little more freedom to kind of go off, but still everything in that book should be essential to your storyline in some way or another. You don't need to know about the person's childhood when one sentence will do of, oh, and he always rescued the frogs from the other kids with firecrackers. That tells you that he was a protector even as a kid and a bit of an outsider, etc. So, with gaming,
Yes.
and I'm not going to look at my notes right here. I'm going to get to them in a minute as a guideline if we need, because we do have 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
With gaming, there's Jamie. Glad you're doing better.
Hi, Jamin.
Glad to hear that. And I know we sent it to Jewel, but thank you for the postcards. I don't have them in order with the most recent first, but I'll just do this real quick.
They're great.
There we go. Those are all from you, man.
Wow.
Yeah, he basically he's printing out memes on Photostock and then slapping a stamp on it and my address, and he sends me memes in the mail, and just how cool it is to get something
It's great.
good in the mail instead of
Take that, Facebook.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
That's right. It's I need to start Andrea. What
Yeah.
what are you humming about?
I'm looking at the Twitch screen and the subscriber goal. I need that.
You know how I did that, right?
No. You can tell me later.
Text.
Oh.
I have to go manually change that manually, not manly.
Manly?
I gotta change it. Hey.
Ha.
Anyhow.
What the hell are you doing in there?
I don't even. Oh, here's what I was saying. I found an app that basically you pay for shipping and it prints out pictures for free and sends them to you.
Uh-huh.
Now, I don't know how much shipping is. I just downloaded the app. I haven't played with it, but I might refer it over to you. But what I'm thinking here is, you know what Jamin does? Well, we take these stupid-ass pictures of us with stupid-ass products. I mean, I could pull up my phone right now and find a half dozen without even trying.
Thank you, Jamin. Well, just like later today, I have to go buy the Vag Expo sign and take a stupid picture.
Yeah, you do. And
oh, you're going to have to explain that one.
Go ahead.
Okay, the VAAG, Virginia Agricultural Expo, because this is like farm area.
Gotcha.
But it says vag.
Magic.
Vagina.
That I have to confess that was my first thought.
Vagina?
Yeah.
Or Virginia Agricultural.
Vagina.
Well,
that's why it's funny.
Yeah. But
I'm not afraid to say the word vagina in public. I enjoy seeing it printed.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on.
That's fine. We'll look forward to that picture. That'll be something.
See, and what I'm thinking is when we get pictures like this, we print them out and we send them out as postcards.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
Yeah, and if we want
if
to,
there's like services, right, where you take a picture. I know there is one. I have to research. Maybe it's the one you have, where you upload your photo, you put an address, they turn it into a postcard and send it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to ship it here and then ship it back.
That might be something to look into for Patreon.
And yeah, and then all the subscribers for the gaming channel.
Yeah, well, what I'm thinking is with Patreon, it could be one of those things that we get their address when they support at a certain level.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing that service will have an address book that you could just kind of click down which ones you want to send it to, as opposed to having to enter it in every time. And
Yeah, I'm
then-
pretty sure.
Yeah, it'll be pretty simplified like that.
And we just promise, one postcard a month from us, and we bring the patch and get a photo and send in front of something. And
Hmm.
Yeah.
it's a good thought. It's a good thought because I'm always going, what can I give these people that I don't hand out for free to the general public?
Yeah.
Don't say vagina again, Richard. It doesn't apply here.
He's not going to give out his vagina.
I don't think you can send those through the post. I think they got laws against that.
Could be.
They do, but people do it anyway.
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay. By the way, I was just contacted by. Okay, I don't think they're going to be able to join us.
By who?
Well, Jeannie Wilkins, who I believe you both know.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame that I'm
A shame that you
contacted by
know
her.
we both know her, or that she won't join.
No, that she won't be able to make it.
Hey, Daniel, how are you? Well,
Daniel.
I contacted her about Tuesdays to see if she wanted to game. Okay, Richard, Andrea's channel. Andrea has her own Twitch channel, and we have started focusing on tabletop role-playing games there.
Uh-huh.
So Daniel, who just posted under its Wood podcast, runs a twice a month, give or take, D&D game, which is aired there. And then
On Sunday.
Tuesday, we're having a steampunk. It's called Crypto Mysteries, but imagine steampunk world. Cthulhu meets Scooby-Doo with the sprinkling of Dresden Files and Supernatural on top.
Wow.
So you're hunting monsters essentially in a steampunk world.
Mhm.
And I created my character last night on the stream.
And by the way, my
Yeah.
steampunk world, people are like, oh, so it's Victorian era with gizmos and gadgets with gears. I'm like, no, it is all that, but those gizmos and gadgets with gears are equivalent to modern technology, just a different style and fashion. They went a different route as they advanced in technology. And that's the
Yeah.
world we play in, the one I write in. So that's Tuesdays. Wednesdays is Star Wars gaming system, but it's like Firefly meets the Three Stooges. It's got this underlying thread of ridiculousness, which is why we include Scooby-Doo in the Cthulhu meets Scooby-Doo, because we want
Because it's
that-
going to
that
be
lighthearted
fun. We make stupid jokes and we do stupid things, and
constantly.
it's fun.
And then
Yeah, it sounds it. It really does.
Thursday, tonight,
Tonight,
we have our superhero game, which is called After Hours.
you didn't
City
say it correctly.
Defenders. I'm not.
After hours.
I don't think I
City
can.
Defenders.
It's
I
one
get
of those
criticized.
kind of games, is it?
TM.
It's,
I'm going to pull up the picture and I'll show you the picture of the characters that Elizabeth drew.
There we go. But
And
with each of
yeah.
these, it's a different pacing in the story. Hold it. There you go.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
quite a piece of art, actually, isn't it? Show
It
me
really
again.
Isn't it great?
Put it up
Show
there
you
for a
again?
good count of
Yeah.
30 to
Sorry.
45 seconds. Okay.
That's really quite something, isn't it? Look at that.
I just put the character she drew and the one John made. I put it on the background and
Very
turned it into
cool.
like a comic book cover.
Yeah, and that's John, who you had breakfast with from Jersey's Cards and Games.
John Millington.
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
playing in
He
that game
plays
also.
in the game.
Yeah.
So, and each one of these stories has a different pacing and a different feel, but there's some things that are essential between all of them. Now, for example, the superhero one for tonight. It needs to be fast-paced and fun and very pithy, very keep it moving. Because it's a comic book. And with a comic book, you flip the page, you got a new scene. You got new, bright colors and movement and everything. And the game needs to feel that way. Whereas the Star Wars game, if you remember back to the first Star Wars that came out, Episode 4, New
Mhm.
Hope, it's going to, hey Kennedy, Skipper says
Hey, Kennedy.
tabletop RPGs seem extremely
Hey, Kennedy.
cumbersome for combat. Yes and no, Jamin. Not disagreeing, just there's ways to make it seem less cumbersome. What, Andrew?
I sent you a message, Richard, on Facebook with the picture
Right.
so you can see it.
Thank you. I was just about to request it.
Oh, by the way, if Richard suddenly flicks off the camera and mutes himself, it's because he's got an important call that might come in during the show. And of course, we're going to be
And
great.
not because we offended him.
No, with that, he's going to stay on air and bitch at us.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
we're
you'll
gonna
never hear
enjoy
the end
one
of it if
episode.
you do that.
Me. Oh, God.
Hey guys, that just
Yep.
hey guys that just joined us. Remember to hit the share button. Let everybody know where you are and to come join us.
That's right. But anyhow, with the Star Wars, if you imagine watching in the theaters the first time A New Hope,
Yeah.
it didn't, well, it had like one slow point, and that's when they're sitting in the planning room on how to attack the Death Star.
Yeah.
And for me, that's how the Star Wars game should feel. If you took New Hope and you clipped it into its individual parts, you have, here's the intro, the prologue, here's Luke's daily life. Here's him meeting Ben. Then you have the trip to the Death Star where they're actually going to Alderaan. That's a whole nother scene. Then you have the time on the Death Star. And then you have your time on Yavin with the planning session. Then you have the attack on the Death Star. You have essentially what would make 5 or 6 gaming sessions in one movie.
Mm.
And that's how I'm looking at Star Wars. I imagine each, if you took a game of Star Wars that takes 2 hours and you put it into a visual format, it would be a 20-minute episode. So after you hit 6 episodes, you have a full movie. You have a complete story arc. But it's fast. It gives you a couple laughs, but it keeps moving. Now the Crypto Mysteries is going to have a very different feel. That's going to be more plot-oriented. I don't want to say driven, but the storyline is going to...
It's going to be a little more kind of a continuous development of the plot.
Precisely.
Rather than 5 or 6 discrete
correct
subplots or scenes, as it were.
Right.
Yeah, less episodic. There you go.
With the other ones, I will be bringing in, like the villain you saw in the second episode. You see him again down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And there will be a story arc-ish type thing. But the other one will be an ongoing story, very connected as opposed to episodic. So you're stopping at pause moments as opposed to the end of that episode or whatever.
Mm.
A good way of pointing it is the gaming system I'm using calls the overall thing, your campaign setting is called a chronicle. Each gaming session is called a chapter, and thus when you reach the end of that story arc of so many chapters, that's called a story within the chronicle. And that's a great way. That actually very much fits the concept I have in my head. Whereas Star Wars, they label it as episodes, and then we have the separate things to create the episodes, and then the superheroes. We have comic books in my head. Which movies? The comic book movies are kind of ruining that feel of... I feel like a comic book movie should be a half dozen to a dozen comic books put together to create it. But I don't get that feel of individual comics in a movie. Do you remember the original?
Yeah.
The original movie Incredible Hulk that hit the theaters, the one with Edward Norton.
Yeah.
Now, okay, fair enough. The plot was crap. I'm with everyone on that. But they did certain things in the movie, like where they showed you a scene of the helicopters going across a desert, and and then it panned it out into a panel, and it dropped other panels on the screen, so it felt comic book movie.
Yeah.
For me. Comic book movies should be like the graphic novels. You know what does well with it, though, Andrea? Watchmen did a good job. She's not paying attention.
Sorry, I'm actually working.
Away with the fairies.
I'm not even paying attention.
I'm going to talk to Richard now and let you do what you're doing until you jump in.
I'm just here as eye candy.
Yeah.
You see, she's got part of her beachwear on for later. And I'm
Oh my goodness.
Too.
Damn.
Yeah.
You're wearing the other part, huh?
That bat was originally a rectangle.
This is my beach wear for tonight.
Good Lord, have mercy.
It's an eensy teensy
So everybody join in.
itty bitty
Follow the
yellow
channel.
polka dot bikini. I do have
Yeah, I
my,
have one.
my swim trunks on, which have
Oh, no, please,
hold on.
Travis,
They're-
please.
they're-
Oh,
Look at his swim trunks.
all
They're
covered.
cats.
thank God, I was expecting Speedos.
I have pussy all over my crotch.
He does.
Pussy all over your shorts, huh?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, well, since we're showing, I have a Marvel swim trunks on.
DC. That's the DC swim.
I'm sorry. I have DC.
Yeah,
Whatever.
classic DC.
I have Batman.
Golden Age.
It's all Batman.
Very classy.
Okay,
Very
I'm going to work now.
Right. Well, I think I know what you mean about the translating from a comic book to a film and how it works and sometimes how it doesn't. Wife and I went to see Ant-Man and the Wasp last night.
Heard good things. What do you think? We haven't seen it, so.
I liked it. The plot, I don't know, maybe I'm getting old and stupid. The plot was a little complicated for me, but it was good. But yeah, I think I am getting old and stupid.
I'm glad
starting to get
to
that
hear
movies,
that
I
it's
can't follow them.
complicated.
Yeah, it was. It was a pretty complex story,
See,
but it was a plausible story, even for a superhero movie.
See, with so many things, as we get older, we've seen, I've seen everything. Whether or not that's true, you've seen a lot. The older you get, you've seen more than you saw last year.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of movies, and I've been able to do this since, well, as somebody who naturally constructs stories in my head, when I'm watching a story, I pick it apart and see where it's going. And for me, this is simplistic, and I'm always very happily surprised when I can't pick out the beginning of the third act plot twist ahead of time.
Yeah.
When I don't know who the villain is till the closing shot. This is why I like Sixth Sense so much, because I got it before the reveal, but it wasn't very long before the reveal.
Yeah.
You know, and some people are like, I got the first 10 minutes. I'm like, well, you're either a genius or a fucking liar.
Yeah.
And so...
No, nobody got that within the first 10 minutes.
I actually had somebody tell me that, and with that one in particular, it did make me roll my eyes with, yeah, okay, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
And no doubt somebody, you know what, you throw enough darts, you're going to hit something, and if that's what they do in their head, just pull out every wild crate. Godzilla's attacking at the end. I'll get this one, you know. So, sure, maybe somebody somewhere guessed it, but
but what it does show you is that as you become older, you become immune to formulaic type movies. You know that you expect a little more.
No,
you expect a little more.
Don't get me wrong. I love a well done formula movie. For example, the superhero movies. They're well done. They're a fucking formula, and I know exactly how it's going to end. And if people go, oh well, you wouldn't have known how Avengers, whatever the recent one is, Infinity War, was going to end.
The one where they all got pulverized.
We haven't seen it yet, but we've heard, yes. But here's the bottom line: that is half the story. Okay, there's 2 movies to this story arc, so you're only halfway through. This is the false ending. That. Do you know what a beat sheet is?
Yeah, you were explaining early on. It's kind of a thing that sets the pace and gives general direction to a plot.
Right. If you imagine certain reveals, plot points, or moments in a book or movie as a beat, like in music, bum, bum, bum. And if music doesn't have a beat, sometimes it feels empty, hollow, lost. The same with a movie or a book. You have to have certain points hit. Have to is a stretch, an exaggeration. You don't have to. You don't have to do fucking anything. But there's a comfort in these things hitting at the right points.
Yeah, there are certain structures that make for a good story or don't. Like if you're gonna have a murder mystery, you know, by the very definition, you got to keep certain things under wraps. But if you haven't at least introduced the protagonist by chapter 3, people are going to start to lose interest.
Right. Yeah. Generally, your protagonist needs to be introduced in the first chapter, but chapter 3 at the latest is exactly right. and your antagonist by
Yeah, I mean
33%.
your
I
antagonist.
thought you
Yeah,
meant that.
sorry.
You know what?
Yeah,
Even
the
though
baddie.
pro and anti are right in front of the words, they still confuse me,
Mm,
and I use them. But
yeah.
here's the deal. If you imagine 25% of a movie, so you got, 25%, 50%, 75, 100. Okay?
Mm,
So this is your midpoint, 50%. You're with me.
live long and prosper.
Now we're going to take this down to three parts.
Yep.
Act 1, 2, and 3. Act 1 is the first 25%. Act 3 is the last 25%. Okay, Act 3 begins when your climax starts. The first act ends when basically your character, the first 25% is meant to, oh, here's daily life, here's what they deal with, here's normal.
Yeah.
Up, something
Scene setting.
happened, right. So you have a measure of where the excitement is above normal or below.
Yeah.
So, and then you have like an inciting incident and a plot point hit, and this is what breaks them out of normal, so they go on the adventure to that act 2, which is actually 50% of the movie. So what you're looking at is by 33%, you're dropping your first plot point. And that's your major piece of information that moves your story forward, whether it's inspiring the character or just impetus of events. 66%, you have your second plot point, and there's only 2 plot points. And that's the new information that changes everything for the character's point of view, which leads into that moment of, oh, everything is lost, everything's crap, we're going to lose, gonna do it anyway, and they move forward.
Hmm.
Now, with a book, I get this. With a movie, I can sit here with my plot point list, which I have listed out. They say there's 15 points. I can break it down to 28 because of the supporting points that lead up to these other major points. And I've done this with like 5 different movies. Start the movie, hit pause so I can see how long the movie is. If it's 2 hours, what I'm doing right then is I'm marking the 25% as 30 minutes. The halfway point is 1 hour. And the third plot point, or the third act
Yeah.
beginning at
Start the third
90
order.
minutes.
Yep.
And then what I'll do is when I'm like, I think this is it, I'll pause it again and check. Movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, and all these I've done this with, they are like clockwork. Within seconds of that, and by the way, if they're off, I usually go, well, there's 8 minutes of credits on this movie, so here's your difference. They're like clockwork. And this is why I do sing the praises of a beat sheet as a guide, not as a necessity. Because we do love these movies. Even if they're kind of a crappy movie, like some of the superhero movies, we're still like, great movie! Because it gave us what we wanted when we expected it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a satisfaction level, regardless of the quality of the movie. As a piece of art, it gives you that. It gives you what you go for. It gives you, half hour normality, an hour of plot and a big change in the middle, and then half an hour tying it all up at the end.
Right.
That's what people want.
That's exactly right. And there are other movies who I love. But if I look at them, they didn't quite hit the points at the right time. A couple examples, Cowboys and Aliens, and John Carter, if you've seen either of them.
I've seen John Carter. I thought it was really good, although it didn't do all that well in the theaters, as I remember.
Right. And I plotted this one out too, and I'm looking at it, and some of their plot points are 10 minutes off.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, the beat sheet, not the plot points. Plot points are part with it. But you get the idea. There are certain things that are just off by a handful of minutes, and I'm like, really? It affected public perception that much?
Yeah.
Because with something like John Carter, people went, well, it's not like the original source material. Okay, really, what percentage of the audience ever read the original books? 15% tops?
Exactly, yeah.
This is not the problem.
And if it was, it would be structured like a book, not like a movie.
That's a good point. But also
Mhm.
book structure. The- I have, before beat sheets were, as far as I know, around officially, I have notes from authors from the pulp fiction era, so 30s to 50s, who basically they went, there's 5 parts or 6 parts to a book, and here's how you do it. And they lay out, the building of
Mm.
tension, things get worse, building of tension. And I took their formula and I put it next to a beat sheet and went, oh, oh look, they all match.
Yeah.
Beat sheet just kind of defined it more.
Hmm.
Okay, that's enough about beat sheet. Deja Thoris. Roughhead. What? I don't know what that means. Is that a name? Are you suggesting a name for a character? That'd be a good. Is that your character's name? Roughhead here.
Roughhead.
Kennedy is no. He's one of the chatters in the thing, and he's going to be playing in the steampunk game. Um, we have, I believe, squirrel, an actual squirrel, not just a shiny thing. Um, we have all the players for the superhero game. We have 4 players. This is where I like to set the bar. We just got our 4th player for the Star Wars game, and we are looking for 2 more players for the steampunk game. Right now,
Is there any way you can join it? After it started?
Yes,
yes and
maybe.
no.
Oh.
Okay, if you're
Uh,
talking about can you join it 3 weeks after the game has began moving, yes. If you're talking about can I come in an hour late to every session, no.
oh, no. No, my question was going to be, my wife has signed me up for another art class next Thursday night. Next
Oh,
Tuesday night. But it's only a one-night thing. So the following Tuesday night, I would love to get involved in the steampunk game.
Really?
oh,
Yeah.
am I on mute?
No, you're good.
No,
You're
no, I
good. Go
can hear
ahead.
you.
Okay. Oh, I was going to say, if this is something you're looking forward to or you'd like to do, let's get together and create a character so you kind of can get familiar with it and then
Yeah.
jump in and
Let
you
me
can,
tell you
yeah.
the requirements before you make this decision.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
First of
All
all,
right.
we want commitment. By that, you're saying
Yeah.
you're going to show up every week. Now, showing like, hey Travis, I can't make it next week. I want to make it the week after. Absolutely. For you, I will save that spot for you.
Okay.
We're good. Um, but what I'm saying is, we want you every Tuesday night into the foreseeable future. Inevitably, at some point in time, every player is going to be like, I can't make it anymore. I have a life. And we're going to be like, fuck you and your life. We'll miss you.
This is
Um,
why we have a waiting list.
we do.
I got you.
Yeah. So I will absolutely set a spot aside for you. We have in the
All
Star
right.
Wars game somebody who has never gamed at all before, and he's like, can I play? And I'm like, yeah, here's the deal. You got to get along with the other players. You've got to be able to move the plot forward in an entertaining way. Some games get bogged down with minutiae and technicalities and bickering, and it's boring. Might be
Mm.
fun for those sitting there bickering, but for viewers,
Yeah.
nobody wants to watch that shit. We're going to be live on air. We've got to move it forward.
And as someone who's never done this before, we want to make it fun for you too. And I play. I don't care about a lot of the rules. Travis is
She
there to
never
kind of
reads the
guide us.
rules, ever.
No,
And
I
it's
look at the
okay.
pictures in the book. I
Mm.
like to play. I like to play the character. So, it's just got to be fun and move. And I don't want to argue over dice rolls and all this other crap because
Oh,
you
yeah.
wouldn't want to watch that. We don't want our
No,
viewers
nobody
to watch
wants
that.
to watch that
Yeah.
shit.
So as long as you can get along and we can move the game forward. Now, the steampunk one will be slightly more steady paced, less than the others. It will
Well,
be.
that's probably good.
I want each game to be different. I don't
It
want to
is.
do 3 of the same games with different people.
No,
Or I don't want to do
because then
3
I'll get
different games with
confused.
the same people. I want the different players. And
Mm.
Kennedy, what you got here? Deja. Okay. By the way, yeah, I saw your thing. Love interest in John Carter. Deja Thorson. Well, ain't she hot? Oh, she's got her own comic now, and
Oh,
it's free. Okay,
nice. I like that.
I'll leave that up there for a minute. I'll take a look at that.
So yeah, if you're interested and you can do the commitment thing, we know your camera works.
Yeah.
We know you're okay with Skype.
Hmm.
Kind of think about what you'd want your character to be,
Real quick,
Yeah.
and we'll get together and work it out.
Richard,
All right.
right-click on Andrea's picture there, and it should create a drop list. In that drop list, there should be add contacts. You two make sure you add each other to contacts, because Daniel had this issue where he didn't add everybody on Skype, and then when I had to step out of his D&D game, it made it difficult to connect with a couple of the people.
I sent you a thing.
All right. Because
You
I'm
just
not
have to
doing it.
accept it.
So yeah, absolutely. You want me to just pen you in then as our next person on the Crypto Mysteries?
Yeah, please.
Okay. And here's what I'll do. I am going to, and by the way, do you think Angela wants to play also?
Probably not.
Okay. Just checking in
Probably
also.
not.
Well, here's something we can do. If you're not busy Monday, we're going to be out near your area. We're going to Jersey's.
Oh, right. Yeah, I can come down to Jersey's.
Maybe we could all meet up and do the character there.
We're
Yeah, sure.
doing breakfast with John ahead of time. Do you want to join us for breakfast?
Yeah, where are you going?
It is going to go to Damon's.
All right.
And
I haven't been there in a while.
You'll like Damon's.
I've never been
I
there.
haven't been there
Damon's is
in
cool.
years.
Give me a second. I am pulling up my messaging with him because I honestly don't remember if it's 9 or 9:30. So I'm checking. 9 a.m. Monday morning at Damon's, and then afterwards we're going to the shop to hang out for a little bit.
All right.
So yeah, join us for that. And here's the bottom line with this. Okay, you got the concept of get along, story, blah blah blah. With the rules, if you're like, nope, Travis, I love to read rule books, I'll send you rule books in PDF format.
We'll let you read it.
If you want to buy them, you can. But if you're like, Travis, help me make up a character and don't give me any rules, that's fine too, because you will learn them as you go. There's about 5 rules you need to know. And once you get them down, the rest are just gravy. So the pressure
we'll give
on
it a shot.
however you
And
want that. Go ahead.
The only other thing you need is either dice or a dice roller,
Right.
which you can do online.
Well,
but if you need dice, we could work it out.
Yeah, when we're at John's Monday.
Yeah, he'll have some dice I can buy, won't he?
Yeah, because all you need for the game system we're using for this is actually Vampire the Masquerade. That's what we're using for the Crypto Mysteries. But I don't want people to get stuck on the name of the game system, because it's the rule system I want to use, not
We're
the
not
game
going to be
concept.
vampires.
Not the setup. Gotcha.
Right. There is supplements for this called Hunters Hunted, and it's all about the people who hunt the monsters. And later they came out with this book, called Hunter the Reckoning. Now this is all about hunters who actually get supernatural powers to fight supernatural beings, and I'm kind of like, what? I want it to be your regular people.
I don't want
facing the
supernatural powers.
You know, down the road for 1 or 2 of you to get some kind of special ability, that's cool, but not right
starting
out of the gate.
out.
Yeah. You
It's too
want
much
that
crap to
be-
remember.
Well, that's another thing. As we're learning a game system, the less your character can do, the easier it is for you to learn what you have to do. So, yeah, Richard, you're in, man.
All right, man.
Glad you asked, because
Yeah, sure.
I gotta like you. You're good to hang out with, man. That's all.
This is going to be fun because I like to encourage people to game no matter what. No matter what their age or whatever. And it's good to bring people in that's never played and enjoy it. And then, yay. I'm excited.
I'm 50 years old. I've never picked up a 20-sided dice in my life, you know.
This is something I actually really enjoy
Give it
about
a shot.
this concept, Richard, is with that a lot of our players, most of our players are 40 and up, which that's something about Talk of the Tavern as well as Andrea's channel that I have enjoyed is, like, we have middle-aged geekery as one of our generalized things. Because I want, first of all, the younger generation realize, hey, it's not just you guys. You're
no.
And then also, I want them to realize this came from somewhere. It was our generation that crafted
Yeah.
your geekery that you're enjoying today.
Well,
then-
and here's the thing. Our generation kind of started it, and I'm glad that the younger ones are in it, but we have the money. Now that we're older, we can actually
We
get
can
the
afford a
stuff
game book.
yeah, the stuff that we couldn't when we were their age,
Yeah.
It's easier to
Yeah.
do.
And Daniel, thank you for that thought. Daniel says Richard will do great with the storytelling. Um,
Oh, well, thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it.
but I also want people our age to realize we can do
You're
this.
never
We can
too old.
go geek out. We can go. We're allowed to play a game, God damn it.
Hmm.
Yeah, whether
God
that
damn
means poker with some cigars and beer, whether that means, a murder mystery dinner theater at your home or a tabletop role playing game or board games, whatever it is.
Mhm.
You want to go, hell, you want to pull out fucking action figures and play on the go. Go to it.
It's
You've earned
never
it.
too late. It's
Mhm.
never too early. Anytime's a good time for gaming.
Damn straight, bitches. Okay,
Even the cat wants in on it.
absolutely. Will
They like
totally.
the dice.
They do like those dice. Come on, G-Rat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of ramble on for another couple minutes, just like we have been doing already.
Mhm.
And then we go into the second hour. I'm going to go into story structure, which Daniel, if you're listening, Kennedy, if you're listening, Andrea and Richard, this is going to give you guys an idea as my players, certain things to expect or to help with. Because that's something as a game master, I am big on my players are as important to the game as me. And some people would argue more or less. I'm going to say equal because you're each creating a part of that story with me. And last thing I want you to do is only have you guys react to what I do. Because then I might as well just fucking go write a book. I can do that.
Yeah.
But if you're proactive and reactive, now we're creating something as a group. And it makes it personal and it makes it interactive. And these are things since I was in my teens and started gaming. I would look at my other players, and by the way, I had players get pissed with me where I'm like, I expect you to know the rules as well as me. And they're like, what? But I'm a player. I don't have to. And I'm like, this game is as much yours as mine. They're like, no, it's not. They didn't understand. Or I need to know your character's background and history. And they're like, what? We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like, yeah, are your parents alive? And they're like, what's that matter for going and killing goblins? I'm like, it matters because it's where your character comes from. And as we build the plot and the story, and some people are just confused. They're just like, plot, story.
Well, like with Batman. If his parents didn't die, he'd probably be a spoiled brat on the couch. Just
Yeah.
saying.
They can be as complex or as simple as people want to make it, I guess.
And I think
But
it's
if
the
you
balance of the
get
two.
if you get one person that wants complex and everybody else is like, well, I just want to kill goblins, then
Oh, and there is
maybe it's not a
room
good mix.
for the hack and slash game. There absolutely, but it's not room in my game. That's somebody else's game, and go have a good time. But that's not what we're doing over here. What we're doing over here is we're telling a story.
Yeah,
Andrea?
I don't like to just be rolling dice all the time. I
I
don't
try
care
to
about that.
minimize it. Okay, let me read a few comments if I may. Daniel is clarifying with it's cooperative storytelling. The worst games are where the game master forces you to play their story. And again, I'll clarify some players want that. They want somebody like a movie or World of Warcraft or any other online game. Go here, do this, get this in return. That's their game. They do what they're told, they come back, they get a prize. It's like
Don't tell
playing-
me what to do.
It's like playing skee ball. I tell you. Skipper says, I don't geek out at all, says the man with the pet dinosaurs. Kennedy says, I like that because my friends were way too much hack and slash and they knew it when I was the DM. Yeah, and this is why I'm clarifying. And by the way, Richard, you're in trial period. Basically what that means, if a few weeks or a few months down the road, we basically go, look, Richard keeps trying to kill other players and he wanders away from the group and he stops the game and splits it. he's not working out. We love Richard, but get the fuck out of our game, man.
Here's the thing, because it's going to be on my channel, and if I'm not happy, then you don't need to be there. So everyone's on a trial thing. If you don't play nice with others, or you're not doing what you need to do, that's why everybody gets a trial period.
If a player keeps doing that, obviously they're not happy and engaged with the game. That's why they're leaving and doing. So it's obviously not fitting, and it is not any reason for any of us to be upset. But it is a reason to go, okay, let's fix this. You head on out, and we'll keep doing what we do.
I want everyone to be happy and have fun, because if you're not having fun, what the hell's the point?
Why are you playing? Yeah, exactly. It is a game after all.
Oh, and
so if you get to a point where you're like, I don't like this anymore, you can leave. It's okay.
And to clarify our clarification, Richard, we're saying this to you, but this information, I know you don't need it. It's more for the people watching.
No, I understand.
Through you. So you don't think we Richard's going to fucking freak out.
He's going to fucking out. No, it'll be good. It'll be a learning experience for me. Like I say, I've never played a role-playing game in my 50 years.
I'm excited for this, because yay.
Give it a shot.
It's somewhere between.
We'll be your first.
It's somewhere between
playing with
action figures as a kid, cops and robbers mixed with improv stage. And you have dice to determine random things. So.
Sounds right up my street.
Okay, finish a coffee. I can drink. I'm like, what? Yeah, we mean you, Kennedy. Dork. So,
and I'm just going to say, when we go on break here in a few minutes, I'm going to leave, and maybe I'll be back before the end of the show, but I have to run some stuff to work.
Okay,
just to let you know.
Hold on, I'm seeing what Kennedy is suggesting we raid Bonsai Baby. Oh, what the hell is this? They're building wooden swords, it looks like. So on Monday they have... Oh, it's a woodworking channel.
Oh.
That is pretty awesome. Yeah, it looks like... So Monday, woodworking...
I just like having some oak pieces too.
It's like an Asian chick with orange hair. Oh yeah, I guess you do. Doing orange hair, doing woodworking and gaming.
This is my actual music choices. I like them.
So let's see here. Let's mute that.
We heard that.
Cooking, gaming, and woodworking.
Oh.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
Not at the same time, genius. Okay,
we should do cooking and make Batman cookies.
There you go.
I'm going to follow them there. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Dan,
she's going to be on Daniel's show.
Oh.
Okay. Nice.
Built a companion cube cat box cover. Oh, Daniel.
That's from Portal, right? Is that from Portal? Companion Cube?
I thought it was just something to keep your cat company while it's shitting.
Oh. Our cats keep each other company. Okay, so it is from Portal. All right.
Yeah, especially Goblin or Harold and the females, and they're just like, why are you watching me poop? Oh my god, you're going to attack my asshole. And by the way, that's cat, not me and Andrea, just to be clear.
But it could be.
No, it can't. Don't encourage him. What's wrong with you?
It's anyhow, okay. Hold on, I'm thinking, getting us back on track here. I was distracted. Okay. Now, are you bailing when we hit break time?
Yeah. Oh.
Not yet.
No, I'm not bailing. I can only give you till 5. What time is it now? It's 5 to 4, isn't it? I can give you till 5 o'clock, and then I'm gonna go.
I'll be back by then.
Very good.
But I will be back after the break.
Now,
after this break.
Richard, do you need to take a break?
I need to pee.
Okay.
Ask Andrew if she wants to. Yeah, I'll get my milkshake. There you go.
Here's what I'm going to do. You guys go take a break. I don't need one right this second, so I'm going to stay here and chit-chat with the crowd a little bit. Really, Daniel? Daniel asked, who's the catcher And who's the picture? I think you meant pitcher. You have
No, he meant picture, like hanging on the wall picture. It's okay.
And who?
It's quite all right.
Mr. Gadget.
It's goddamn
Well, it's
funny.
That's very cryptic, actually, isn't it?
Well, it's in reference to the xenomorph in space. Oh, with the pitcher and catcher with Andrea and I in the bathroom. It's basically a gay sex reference of who takes it in the ass and who gives it.
Oh,
Pitcher and catcher, as in baseball.
gotcha.
Kind
Not
of.
soccer, so don't worry. Not football.
I'm going to say, please, I can see where this is going.
But anyhow, Kennedy before that says, the xenomorph in space game, a leathery egg-shaped object opens in front of you. What do? Stick my face into it.
Don't lick it. What have I told you?
Mhm.
Okay.
I have.
All right.
Yeah, okay. Go take a break, guys. Andrea, go do your running around, and I will see you in an hour when Richard totally kicks me to the curb and bails.
I gotta go make a video at the Vag Expo sign too.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't come back without it.
Bring your Talk of the Tavern patch.
Oh, I usually have one in the car, so okay.
And don't forget a picture and a video. That way we can make a
Picture
postcard
and a
of you at
video
the
of the Vag Expo.
I'll make sure you get a picture of that, Richard, so you can see the sign.
It'll be magnificent. You could turn it into a postcard.
Like a lovely exotic flower.
Yeah.
That'd be a great postcard.
Opening like a lotus. There you go. All right.
Okay, bye.
Okay, just
I'll
mute
be back
yourself,
in a
go
few
do your
minutes.
thing. I'm going to hang out here and entertain myself with the crowd.
Mm.
Oh, I guess I got to switch this over to Tavern 2. Hold on 1 second. You turned off your video, you crazy monkey. So he turned off his video instead of muting. So now we get to hear him but not see what he's doing. So there we go. We're gonna go with that. Good times. Okay, yes, I didn't need a refill nor to take a wee-wee. So he is walking around whistling. God, I hope his bathroom doesn't echo. When he gets back, I'm going to have to explain. Oh my God. I can so hear everything he's doing. Okay, let's see here. Loudest fucking ice maker ever. Welcome to live radio. Live video. God damn it. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go adjust my camera and perhaps worry less about... Yeah. That did not work. Let's go adjust that camera again. Let's put this over here. Video. I think he's under attack. I'm not really sure though. Woo! Jamin, that is a great idea. Why did you not think about that, like 3 minutes ago when he first walked away? Good times. Okay, so here we are in the mysterious dark. And you hear the small trumpet in the woods calling to the other soldiers. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mating call, indeed. A soldier's mating call? That's a bit odd. Oh. Animal growls from the underbrush. And you hear the waterfall trickling down. Oh man. Oh man. Good times. Oh, here he comes. He's sitting down. He's picking up his headsets and he's staring at his screen. He's now
Can you?
realizing he turned off his picture but not his sound and starts to ask me, could you?
You motherfucker. You can see me all the time, don't you?
No,
Well, not
I
all the
could
time.
not see you, but we could hear everything you did. By the way, loudest ice maker ever.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It sounds like you're shaving off an iceberg, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. And
Mm-hmm.
good acoustics in the house. Can hear the flushing pretty well and the nose blowing. So let me point out the difference between the mute button and the stop video button now.
Good. I'm glad you didn't catch me masturbating furiously in the bathroom.
Oh man, just tell me that was the ice maker, not the masturbation sound.
Mhm.
The flushing noise was the sound of him orgasming.
Oh. Well, there you go. Now you've
So
heard it
yeah,
all, haven't you?
the mute one looks like a microphone instead of a camera.
I got you.
Just so you know.
I got you. Yeah, I did hit the video one, didn't I? I thought that'll shut it all off.
You may have. It's hard to say, except the fact that the video is totally
Yeah,
missing. We heard every noise.
yeah. I'll have to remember that.
There you go.
The walls have ears.
They do in this case. That's for sure. You know, I went to adjust my camera and it is not letting me adjust anymore. So here I am. Yeah, I just scoot this way. We'll call it done. Oh my God. You know, since I've worn these shorts last, I've put on weight. And they're the
Well, they're
baby.
strong.
No. I got fat. That's
You
all
put
there is
away.
to this one. Yeah, it's. Hold on a second. What do you mean you'll see where I am? Show's on right now. Don't answer me now. Anyhow, chat and other techies might be firmware. Okay, I'll check that out, Kennedy. I'll look at that after the show here. Seeing if it's anything important. I invited some other people on who are writers and gamers and whatnot today, and one of them just answered me going, "I'll see where I am." No, we're an hour into the show. He's just answered me. Let's see where you are, my ass. Andrea? You should have stayed on while Richard left. It was great. Well, he ever so politely clicked the button so we couldn't hear him, but his camera went out and the sound stayed on. So we got to follow his adventures orally. A-U-R-A-L.
Oh,
It's
oh
really
yeah. They have my magnificent ice maker rumbling away in the background and flushing the toilet and everything else. Oh, yeah.
toilets and
Anyway,
so am I.
aren't you supposed to be halfway to VagCon or somewhere?
He wants to know if you're halfway to VagCon yet. That's a different video. Anyhow. Oh, you know what? I think, did I have my mic? Was everything muted? No, I guess I don't know. Have you guys not heard me for the past 7 minutes since Richard came? This is why I'm so cautious about using certain things. Anyhow. No, they heard the broadcast. I just think since I came back from the break, I don't know. It's all working out. Whatever. They didn't tell me they couldn't hear me. Look, they're talking with no sound. They must be doing it on purpose. But we lost viewers, so they might have just thought they lost reception. Okay, going on.
All right.
So, something I love about the White Wolf game system is it's focused, in particular, on the story. And I'm very appreciative of that because, as I described for my gaming style, whether it's a player or the person running the game. You heard me? Oh, good, Kennedy. I'm glad. You never know. I'm all about the story and the player injected story, the one that's the group telling. And I went through this book last night because I haven't played this game and I figured it out, I think, since 20 or 22 years ago. I haven't played this game in 20 or 22 years, but I've clung to.
Sorry, Travis. This could be that call I was talking about.
Go take it, man. Go on. Just
Forgive me.
It's the microphone.
Let me mute it.
There you go. Okay, I think you can still hear me. VatchCon 2020. Anyhow, we'll give him about 30 seconds to see if this is the important call. If it is, he'll stay on it. If not, he'll do what he's doing, which is hang it up and then reach for his headsets, put them back on. God damn. Welcome back. Don't forget to unmute.
Sorry about that, Travis.
Good, man. No, definitely check it. Important calls. I appreciate you jumping on. By the way, everyone, I gave him like 2 hours notice, like 2 hours before the show. I'm like, hey, you want to come on today? And he's like, what the hell?
Yeah, what the fuck, yeah.
Yeah, why not? I got nothing
Why not?
to do, which is a response that I really like.
Well, that was my usual call from the what sounded like the Pakistani wing of the IRS, threatening me with
police action, yeah.
Police action, yeah, if I don't immediately call them with my credit card number.
Yeah, it's why don't you just give him mine while you're on the phone, and let's just both take care of that.
I usually answer them by saying, "Hi, Gloucester County Sheriff's Department Fraud Office. How can I help you?" But she beat me to it.
Did she respond to you with in an Indian accent, Gloucester County Sheriff's Office Fraud Department? Let me help you.
Unfortunately, I love it when they get a live one ring me, but this one, unfortunately, was a recorded message. I love playing with them.
It depends on my mood, and I have done some great ones. There's, and by the way, socially insensitive type things here, guys. So I know they're socially insensitive, but there's been times where I have answered the phone and I know it's a telemarketer. Or else even if I don't, if you answer with a hello, they don't know what you actually sound like yet. They just heard hello. Mm-hmm. So once they start talking, I have been like, hello? No, my mom is not here. I want a pizza. And bless her heart, there was just one woman called. I think she was selling newspaper subscriptions. And I did that voice. And I played this lonely person. And she sat there talking to me for 5 minutes about pizza and whatnot. Bless her heart. And that's one where I'm like, no, that's a good person on the phone.
That was a good person. You just wasted 10 minutes of their time.
Well, you know what? They probably have a story. But yeah, that was one she wouldn't hang up on me. So I eventually had to say, okay, go, and I hung up on her. But I did it politely because I don't want to ruin their day. I want to amuse myself and hopefully them.
One of my favourites to do with them is to answer the phone as if I'm a detective who's just discovered Mr. Knowles' brutally beaten body in his house. And tell them that they just found a crime scene. And now I know that they have Mr. Knowles' phone number. I'm going to need their address, and they're going to need to pop down the station for a deposition. How do they know the victim? When was the last time you saw him?
Very good.
That one's pretty good.
I have seen this in whether it's social media memes or heard it on a radio station. So you've actually done this, huh?
Oh yeah.
More than once?
More than once, yeah.
So how does that usually go? How does it usually turn up?
Well, usually they either slam the phone down or they get really, really worried. Now, if it's somebody in another country, obviously they usually just slam the phone down. I got it off a radio station. It was a prank call played by one of our local DJs. That they gave their cell phone number out and somebody rang up to sell them insurance, and they said, well, hang on a minute, we just found Mr. So-and-so dead in his apartment. How do you know him? Blah, blah, blah. But, usually they either slam the phone down or it worries them to death till they figure it out.
I should just unblock all those calls from the creditors trying to collect money I owe them and start answering the call like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll clear my credit report.
Another good one is when they tell you about the student loan you haven't got, then you ask them to look it up.
Very good. It's so this is
I can't help myself. I mean,
Oral and Anal University, right? For when I got that porn degree.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Kennedy says, I once told a repetitive magazine salesperson I lost my sight and I was wrong to do it. You were wrong to tell him that, or you were wrong to lose your sight? And by the way, no, I don't think it's wrong to do that, just like I don't think it's wrong. Oh, thank you, Daniel. I don't think it's wrong to do these voices and these accents and everything else. Is it insensitive and offensive? Well, if you tell me it is, I guess you're right. But the bottom line is, I would never go, and this doesn't make it any better for a lot of people, but it's not like I'm going to approach a person with this accent or condition and mock them for it. I use this to make somebody else uncomfortable so they leave me alone. And amuse myself for 10 minutes. So, yeah, I'm a horrible person. So, Richard, I am getting so terrified of saying so many things in this socially charged climate we have going on.
It is becoming a little more difficult to be offensive without offending everybody.
I would say we are strongly headed in the direction of McCarthyism. With the red witch hunts of the 50s and 60s and the blacklisting, and it's starting to go too far. It's no longer helpful and protective of people. It's becoming aggressively dangerous socially.
Yeah.
But anyhow, neither here nor there. It's way over there. Okay, so I want whiskey now after even just saying that little. I need a fucking drink now. I don't have it.
You've been praying that nobody called the thought police on you in the last 10 minutes, huh?
We caught a man thinking. Move in, move in.
Uh-huh. There you go.
Individuality. Danger, danger. Don't you all agree? Everybody who agrees, act just like me. Be an individual.
Yeah. I think some subjects are taboo, but it's up to you or me or as each person as individuals to decide what those subjects are. I don't believe in a blanket ban on any subject.
I agree. And time and place. And some people would say there's some topics you never joke about, ever. Top of this list is rape. And then again, I have heard comedians do whole bits on it. And I can argue either side of that conversation. The same thing when it comes to certain things about race. Race, religion, ethnic background can be a hilariously fun topic, especially if you and I are going at it and I'm making fun of Brits and you're making fun of, bad Americans or my Irish heritage or whatever, and we're having a good time with it. But somebody else would look at the two of us having a go at each other and go, you guys are both horrible people who are offending whole nations of proud people with a heritage. And we'd be like, I didn't hear you because I'm making fun of your mom.
We're not. We're not speaking to whole nations. We're speaking to each other, and we can choose whether or not we're offended by that.
I usually choose not to get offended. See, here's my philosophy on getting offended, Richard. If you're a friend and you're having a good time with me, there's no reason to get offended. Laugh along. If you're offending me and you don't realize it, then as a friend, I can turn to you and go, hey, man, kind of sensitive here. And as a friend, you're going to go, oh, shit, I didn't know. I'm sorry, man. Well, I'll back off that one. We're good.
Yeah.
Now, as a stranger, why the fuck should your opinion matter that much to me where I get offended by something you say? Why am I giving you that much power? So the bottom line is, Kenny says, you have Irish heritage. Okay, I'm out of here. Kennedy, with your name and background, like you'd be able to find the door to get out. Kennedy's one of the guys you'll be playing in the steampunk game with. He's the one on the chat if you're following it, Roughhead. But anyhow, yeah, why would you ever give any power to somebody. And the point is, I have a hard time finding a scenario where I would want to get offended. Because with a friend, it's an easy fix of communication. With a stranger, their opinion doesn't matter that much to me.
Yeah.
So where do I get offended? Never.
Exactly.
And never, you know, there's always an exception. There will be sometimes somewhere I go, oh, fuck, I just got offended. Look at me go. Wait, hey, I found something. But, okay.
Damn, it looks like you're trying to set yourself on fire from here.
Are you offended?
Oh, you have no idea.
That's why I asked, because I have no idea. Kennedy says, I want to play a detective leprechaun with leprosy. Well, that's offensive. You can't be a leprechaun. You'll be finding leprechauns and dealing with them. But you can have leprosy.
Yeah, you can have all the leprosy you want, but you can't be a leprechaun.
Yeah, you could leave your heart in San Francisco and your leg in Jersey. I don't know.
There you go.
Okay, so with my gaming style, since I was just a wee lad in my early teens, I wanted character-driven stories. Now, the first year or two I played, the way it happened is that this relates to my writing. I never realized I was a writer until very recently. But I used to carry a notepad around with me to take notes. I used to play Star Wars action figures, and I was creating my own stories. Even my race cars, my little Hot Wheels, I created stories with them instead of just racing them. They had plots, they had stories, So when I hit my teens, on my 13th birthday, I got my first role-playing game, Dungeons & Dragons. Here I am now creating stories with other people. So it's just like action figures, except you got dice and pencils and paper instead of little characters, so you can actually track things. Okay. About 6 months after my first game, somebody went, Travis, it's your turn to run the game. And since that point, I have almost never had the chance to play again. Because everybody is like, no, you do good. You run the game. Okay, it's fine. I don't mind. But it was about 6 months after running games, and they said this right after like the first game I ran. They went, no, you did great. You keep it up. But after that is when I started asking for, tell me a little bit more about your character, you know. And it wasn't until a couple years later when I hit my late teens that I started asking, you know, are your parents still alive? Do you have siblings? Did you work in a day job? And they're like, you know, I'm out here killing, and this was mostly Dungeons & Dragons, killing orcs or goblins. What do you mean, did I have a day job? Well, do you have a skill set? Let's say you get your leg torn off and you can't go adventuring. What are you going to do? And they're like, some players were confused. Others answered. And the ones that answered were the ones that had a bigger game. If you're hack and slash, you're playing in a black and white world. If you have a character background and history, you colorize that world. Or you go from 2D to 3D. Everything has depth now. And there's ways to do this. Hold on while I set my face on fire again. You like that? It's like entertaining a baby with keys, isn't it? So as a storyteller, I have a job. And my job is to literally tell a story, but include the players in it. And this has always been a key thing of mine, is including each player and picking pieces out of each player's background or personality or etc. Hey there, Toey, good to see ya. Daniel says the same as a character in a story. They each have a history, drive, motivations, and flaws. I will add the word good in front of story. It's the same as a character in a good story. Because I have seen stories where they don't have those things. And it lacks. And Colorize with Rainbows says, Kenny, what are you on today, man? You're just sillier than normal, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, okay. For a good story, for me, and I've explained to people, there are plot-driven stories and there are character-driven stories. And I love a character-driven story. I want a story where the world is going to happen no matter what goes on. And I don't really care as much what happens in the world if I don't have a connection to somebody that's influenced by those events. You tell me, oh, 9/11, 2001, 2 jets crashed into buildings in New York City. And I'm like, oh, well, that's horrible. You tell me your cousin that you grew up with is on there, and suddenly it carries a weight. I have a connection to that event through you. And that's the same for any role-playing game. When you're telling a story, if you can connect to the story through your character, it means more to you. But if you're just watching the story unfold, you watch Netflix. So that's done in a few ways when gaming. First of all, the rules, knowing the rules, and then breaking those same rules for the sake of the story, not for the sake of breaking rules.
What kind of rules do they have in these games?
Rather simplistic. The beauty part of this game here that you'll be playing is most of their rules are covered in 3 pages. Out of like a 300-page book, 3 pages of rules. And it's basically how to use the dice. And do you want me to explain it to you now, or?
No, you can give me the basics.
Okay. So you have statistics, so dexterity, intelligence, etc., etc. And you have up to 5 points in any one of these. You then have a set of skills and talents, such as driving or law, because you're a cop or a lawyer or whatever.
Yep.
Well, let's say you wanted to drive a car. You would use your driving skill and your dexterity skill. Now, if you wanted to drive a car at night with no headlights on a oil-strewn road with rubble in it, that is now going to be more difficult. So let's say you have 3 points in each, 3 in dexterity, 3 in driving. You would take 6 dice, 1 for each dot you have in these things added together. And I would tell you, you need to roll, if it's regular, just driving at night, it's a 3. You have to roll 3 or higher. The more successes you get, the better you do it. Matter of fact, we're not even going to roll. You're just driving down the damn road. I don't need you to roll. It's nothing difficult. Now, if we add in you're being shot at, and you're dodging the bullets, and if we want to add in you have no headlights, it's night, there's oil on the road, well, now maybe we have an 8. You have to roll an 8 or better with those 6 dice. And you roll your dice. Anytime you roll a 1, it will take away a success. Now, a success would be your target number or above. Ones will remove a success. So 1, if you roll a 1 on the dice, it takes away 1 success, etc. And for each success you get, you succeed better. So if you get 1 success, you barely made it, but you made it. If you roll 5 successes or more, you did it like a champ. Good job. Excellent.
What if you fail?
If you fail, you fail. So with this case, if we're using this example, perhaps one of the tires gets shot out.
Gotcha.
Perhaps, if you rolled more 1s than successes, you then have a botch. So maybe you roll the car at that point in time.
So you're not necessarily out the game. It's just
No.
the plot changes.
You have ranks of health. Most games call them hit points or health points. This one you actually have a little chart of ranks. And you take damage and you might be bruised or incapacitated or anything in between. It's a spectrum. And then those take a certain amount of time to heal up, anywhere from a day to months, depending. If you've broken every bone in your body, you're not getting up the next day and going out on another adventure. But the beauty part of the game is we go, 6 months later, you leave the hospital. So we don't have to wait 6 damn months for your character to get better. It's that quick.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty much the rules. So when you go, I want to fire a gun, you dexterity and firearms. Take that many dice, roll versus your target number. So
I got you.
that's the
I got
basics.
you.
All the other rules expand and clarify on those basic rules.
Got you.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, Jamin. Skipper says, play a detective who's only pretending to have leprosy. You'd be a leprechaun. Uh,
Oh,
that's
I
good.
see what you did there. I see what you did.
And there we go. Got that. There we go. So you have those basic rules, but here's the deal. Let's say you're doing that trick in the car and you roll really badly and you botch your roll, which means that car rolls or explodes. I'm not going to kill you. We have all heard of these accidents where somebody gets thrown from a rolling car and they land and they get up and walk away.
Mm.
I'm going that route as opposed to horribly mangling your body or killing your character, because the bottom line is the story is king here. And to have you die on a bad dice roll, it's unfulfilling, it's anticlimactic, it's just downright stupid and wrong. So I'm going to have you, the airbag, or now this is steampunk era, so I probably wouldn't have airbags, but perhaps you're thrown from whatever vehicle you were in. And
Gotcha.
you land in the hay bale at the side of the road. So you're going to take a rank of damage because shit happens, but you're not out of the
But you're
game.
still in the game.
Right, because otherwise, what's the point of having the game? Now,
Yeah,
let's say you decided to take a car full of gasoline and you're lighting sticks of dynamite and throwing it at people on the side of the road while no lights at night and they're firing guns at you. You know what? If you roll poorly then, it's your own fucking stupidity. And I'm going to let that reflect because you had a car full of gasoline and you were lighting dynamite sticks.
Mm.
Okay, you're an idiot. You deserve to be blown up at this point in time. Now, if you're doing it because you had planned to jump out of the car as the car collided with the barricade and you dropped a dynamite stick and you're going to save all the orphans if it works, again, I don't penalize heroism, I penalize stupidity. And by penalize stupidity, I mean I let you do what you got to do. That'll be punishment enough. So with a player, they want certain things. And again, with the White Wolf system here, they detail these things. And it's one of those games that I read and went, this is how to write a story. This is a great... Jamin says it's wrong unless you're George R.R. Martin. I'll drink to that. So here's what people want. They want to tell a story as a group. They want to be someone different. Now that might mean, I have one guy who just contacted me about the Star Wars stories. He's like, should I be the medical doctor on the run for crazy medical experiments, or should I be the big guy that loves to blow things up? Both these characters are two very different from people from who he really is. Now, on the other hand, I love to play a character that's like me, but they're successful in what they do. So I still want to be somebody different. I might want to be the guy who can talk his way out of anything. But it's still different from who I am, because he will get into situations I never would. Because I have common sense.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe that line either.
But no, you see, this is all fascinating to me. I had no idea how these things worked up until today. So
I love the psychology.
This is fascinating.
And playing out certain scenarios that you could be in, that you would never normally be in, whether it's because you're in a different world or just a different situation. Problem solving. People love to solve puzzles. And exactly, Kennedy. So the problem solving is nice. It's tough in a game, by the way. If you're ever running a game and you present a puzzle, you know the answer. It's obvious to you what the next step is. But to players, puzzles stump the hell out of players. And by the way, I speak about this from both sides of this. As a game master or a player. I've been a player and they present the puzzle to me, which might be, follow the clues to find the person who did whatever they did, or it might be literally solve a puzzle on the wall to open a door. Oh, it's just not as easy as you think it should be. A sense of accomplishment is very important. The characters have to achieve certain milestones in each game and overall, each game session and overall in the game. Because if you keep their victories and their prizes too elusive, it just becomes frustrating. So you have to let them win on some level on a regular basis.
Yeah, the way the carrot and the stick works is that occasionally you have to let the donkey get a carrot.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it works.
Well, also, if you give them the carrot all the time, those little asses, they just get lazy.
Fat and lazy, yeah.
And then when you take it away, they're like, what the fuck? You're giving me the carrot all the time. Yeah. Why don't I get it now? So, yeah, it is a delicate balance, and it's constantly in flux depending how their day went. Can change how you have to present the game at that moment. Because sometimes they just had a bad day and they need either A, the frustration so they could act out and kick people's asses, or they just need the reward so they feel like they've earned something that day. Sense of accomplishment, I said that. Problem solving, I said that. To gain power. It's another thing that players want, because you don't go into these games to be powerless. You might start out a bit of a peon, but down the road you want to know if you walk into a room, your character demands a certain amount of respect because they have saved this person or this town or the world more than once. And they're entitled to a bit of respect. Or when they walk down the street, gang, and the one member recognizes them and goes, oh, it's the Black Hanky, run! What a great superhero name for Steve Von Kahn.
The Black Hanky.
Kennedy says, if my character is stuck on trains, I'm quitting. Too close to real life, huh, Kennedy? See, he wants to be somebody else. To be with friends. That's another. This is why our first rule is you have to get along with the other players. By the way, that doesn't mean your characters have to get along. If you're like, nope, I want to play a Weasley shyster that tries to scam everybody, that's fine. But you have to get along with the other players. That way, as your character is being a shyster to their character, they're willing to work with you because they like Richard.
Yeah.
They might think your character, the Black Hanky, is a bit of a douche. Did Angela?
No, I thought it was. But,
is that a stranger wandering in through your front door?
No, something moving in the trees out in my backyard. It's probably a bird. But, we got a lot of woods out in the back, and there's all kinds of wildlife on my back deck from time to time.
I'm going to go with it's probably a Highland gorilla.
A Highland gorilla. It might be a bear. We've had some bear sightings in Gloucester the last few weeks.
Really? Huh?
Oh, yeah, black bears. Yeah, in people's yards. This is in town. This isn't out in the boonies.
Weird. I wonder what's going on out in the boonies that's drawing him in town. Or it could be the same bear, just,
Probably honey. Bears like honey.
Yeah. Gets on a bicycle, pedals around town like they do.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be with friends is important. The reason we play any game is for socializing.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way, we will have a thing where we always get on 30 minutes before the game. This is A, to check for tech problems, but B, to get the bullshitting out of the way before the game starts. We need to be able to have, oh, I had a bad day, or, oh man, I had this great thing happen last weekend. That way we don't interrupt the game with what friends naturally do, which is socialize.
Yeah. What time is kickoff?
7:30.
Well,
now, and then we go live at 8.
All right.
So depending which kickoff you mean. The
what time do you need me available? From 7:30.
7:30.
That's cool. That's good.
So
That's good.
Players also play to experience strong emotions or catharsis, which means they get to blow off steam. Now, the way to do these things is there is a list of tools, and they're all storytelling tools, to help connect them to the story or motivate them to the next step or just connect them to their character.
Mm-hmm.
Suspense and timing are two separate things, but both are so important. This is a whole pacing thing I mentioned. Every step of the way, you want to create anticipation of the next step that they're not in yet. Whether that's that big bad guy or the reward or just the reveal of something they don't know what it'll be. And then timing. If you drop 3 rewards in quick succession, they don't actually feel like they earned it. These things mean less to them psychologically. But if you
got to make them work for it.
You do. And also, as a player, I've had things just kind of drop in my lap. And it's weird to say, but yeah, it's almost anticlimactic when you're like, hey, I got this great thing, and I didn't do anything for it.
Mm.
Description is a delicate balance. You want to describe enough that they know where they are, but also leave it open for their interpretation and their imagination to fill in blanks. Because if you've ever read a Stephen King book, oh, congratulations, Daniel. He just got his blue Yeti mic. Hopefully that'll be nice. I'm not pleased with my blue Yeti mic. It's grainy, and I don't know why. I don't know if I need a different wire for it or what. But yeah, with description, you've read Tolkien?
Yeah.
And you've read Stephen King?
Yep.
Tolkien over-describes.
Mm-hmm.
George R. R. Martin does this. Robert Jordan did this. It's beautiful imagery, but you're kind of like, oh, come on already. Get on with the story. Whereas Stephen King has a wonderful ability. Instead of saying the guy was over 6 foot tall, 4 foot wide at the shoulders, leather jacket, broken nose, greased back hair, wide forehead, instead he says something like, he looked like a boxer that rode a Harley and he just came out of the rain pissed. And you already have this mental image that you have imprinted on them.
Yeah.
Just by those descriptions. So it's that balance of giving enough description, but still letting the player's imagination take part in that game and help create that world.
Yeah, because you don't want to restrict it too much, otherwise there's no gameplay there.
Mm-hmm. The hard part of that is when you give a description like that, you might picture a leather jacket on him that has all kinds of belts and chains and buckles. Somebody else might picture a tank top. Because that boxer that, became a biker type description, everybody's going to have slightly different things in their head. So with gaming, you do have to be careful, because if that's going to turn into combat and somebody's like, oh, I grab his leather jacket, but as the one who's running the game, I don't picture a leather jacket on this guy. It's now my fault that I didn't say he's wearing a tank top, not a leather jacket. So, yeah. Changes in pace is important. It's like filmmaking. If you always have the same level of movement, people get hypnotized and bored and zone out.
People get numb to it.
Right. Public speaking, you have to have a dynamic voice that goes up and speeds up sometimes, and other times it slows down, and this keeps them interested. So yeah, your pacing in the game has to have dynamics in it. Deadlines. There's nothing like a countdown, and not necessarily have a ticking time bomb, though it could be that. But having a deadline in the game makes a difference. Delaying success is a great tactic. And you can't do this one too often. But to yank that thing that they're just about to grab out of their reach. It could be. And I don't hate The Godfather Kennedy. I just don't think it's worth watching a second time. I'd rather watch Guys and Dolls with Marlon Brando than The Godfather any day of the week.
I think Godfather 2 was the best of the trilogy anyway.
I have seen them all one time. I was probably 20 and just didn't find them all that interesting. I'm not sure what people find interesting, but then again, that's Martin Scorsese, is that correct?
Yeah.
Most of his films I do not enjoy. One or two I have, but most I don't. And also, Stanley Kubrick is another one that people love that I'm like, I don't see what the great excitement is. I mean, I get the value of his films, but whether it's
just not your cup of tea.
Yeah, well, Clockwork Orange, interesting concept, very interesting concept. It's a dramatic, over-the-top way to... Oh, Francis Ford Coppola. Thank you, Kennedy. Thank you. Well, Martin Scorsese is another one that I'm like, but like even 2001 Space Odyssey, what a boring film! Even the most quoted scene in that film is so dull. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. Dave's not here.
It's just not your cup of tea. I think you're the kind of a person that expects a bit more action.
Well, just movement. And by the way, I appreciate the crafting behind these films. And I'm not saying they're bad films. I'm just saying I don't want to watch them again anytime soon.
Yeah.
So in no way am I not recommending. I just, like you said, not my cup of tea. I expect a little bit more. Also, like 2001.
A little bit more going on.
Yeah, 2001 had no character development. I don't remember caring about the characters. I don't care if Dave gets back in. Dave wasn't that interesting. Dave can just die in outer space while Hal giggles. I don't care. I was very curious about those monkey men in the beginning with the obelisk, but that went nowhere too.
Fuck Dave and his spacecraft, in fact.
Stupid Dave. And what's with that huge baby in space and Saturn at the end? The fuck? Which, by the way, I've read the book. It's even confusing in the book, but it's more clear in the book than it is in the movie. You at least have...
People were doing alarming amounts of drugs back then, though, so it probably made sense at the time.
I guess it's... Okay, so delaying success, secrecy, keeping things slightly in the dark where characters or players get to reveal it. That gives a sense of accomplishment also, and a sense of mystery and suspense. That goes hand in hand with the intrigue and the build-up of the drama that way. Safe haven.
So what's the end goal?
That's a good question. And I usually answer that question with another question. What's your end goal in life there, Richard?
Get rich, die trying.
No,
I mean, as far as the game's concerned, does it have a winner and a loser, or
yes and no.
Is there an ultimate goal? Or?
Yes and no. Now, what I mean by that is we can set a goal. So, for example, what will happen in Crypto Mysteries is we'll play a few games just to feel for the game, and it'll be very episodic in the beginning because we want to learn the game system, get to know the characters, etc. Then we'll start getting some plot arcs, some story arcs going across multiple sessions. And after a handful of games, the game will start to take shape by my personality and the players' personalities. Now, at that point in time, it might be each person has an individual thing. Like somebody might be, I want to get rich and die. Somebody else might be, I want to kill all the vampires, fuck vampires. Somebody else might be, I want to create a world where monsters and humans can live together. So, there you go. Kennedy says, crush my enemies, see them driven before me, and hear the lamentation of their women. And get that little gap right here fixed in your teeth. Because
yeah,
he did do that eventually. Got that fixed. So it's up to the player and their character what the character's goal is. Now, I could say, we're playing this many games. your character's purpose is to find this person or stop this evil or find this artifact, etc. But I usually play very open-ended and continue the game forward. Now, with these games being streamed, I might decide to do differently and go, I want end goals. That way, we run 3 months, 12 games, and we hit our final goal, and we wrap up that story. And at that point in time, as a group, we can go, okay, do we want to continue on with these characters? Does anybody want to leave and stop playing? Or do we want to make brand new characters? What do we want to do? Which, considering the format we're playing in, that might be a good idea for me to have definitive, bang, hit the end of this storyline. Now we could take the same characters, move into another storyline. We all have this much history and everything behind the characters, so it's easy to find a plot thread and pull on it. It's a fair question. But yeah, there is no winning is in the mind of the player. So,
Gotcha.
you know, if we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, maybe when you finish that dungeon and you leave with whatever treasure, killing whatever big monster. Game over. I won.
You can call that a win. Yeah. For yourself.
Yeah. Or maybe that is just one step on the ladder. You're headed for the next rung now. I've got that. I've learned a little more. I'm a little more powerful. I'm going to the next thing in line. And sometimes goals change. You get a certain point in your character's life or game, and you go, you know what? I'm gonna stop hunting monsters, and now I want to go to the big city and deal with the politicians, and I want to try to build a kingdom of my own, or whatever.
Gotcha.
So it's very personal. Whatever you call I win is what it is. But yeah,
I gotcha.
I think with these games, it might be a good idea if I have specific goals to end a storyline, because otherwise people will just, and they'll do this anyway, they'll peel off after I played for 4 or 5 weeks, I'm kind of done or have other things I'd rather do, and they'll just fall away. But that's like real life. Your adventures in real life is people come into your life and leave your life.
Yeah.
Sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. Okay. Another question?
What's your character setup going to be?
Now, as the person running the game, which you'll hear it referred to usually as Game Master.
Yeah.
Sometimes Dungeon Master, because Dungeons and Dragons, that's what they call the person who runs the game. Now, as the person running the game, your job is to play your character. My job is to play everybody else in the world as you interact with them. So, I might also have the background plot of this politician is doing this, and you never interact with them, so you never have to see that. You just hear about it or see it on the news or whatever the case is for that game. A lot of times I will play what they call an NPC. A player character, in other words, a character you as a player would play, is called a PC, short for player character. NPC would be non-player character. That's the individuals your characters interact with that I have to verbally act out. So a lot of times I will create an NPC that is part of your group. And the reason I do that is you're looking for this one bad guy and the villain, and you guys have no reason to know this information, or you roll poorly on your dice. I now have Bob, your buddy, who could go, oh, I heard about Mikey the Lollipop Lord. He hangs out at the biker bar called Pink Daisies. That's where we should go. Or I could use him as, he's basically just something where I can make quips in the game, and it's actually said out loud as a character as opposed to me just saying it as somebody who's doesn't have a hand in the game right now.
Gotcha.
That makes sense as a played. Okay.
Yeah.
Gamers would go, oh no, I got it. Non-gamers sometimes go, what? So, safe haven is important. A place the players feel safe, but always they could never feel 100% safe there. There always has to be a chance that their lair, their safe space, can be invaded or compromised. kind of like Batman with the Batcave.
There's always a chance that somebody will find out where it is.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And though you should never overuse that tool, it needs to be something that can happen, that helps build suspense, that helps build the intrigue, etc., etc. Especially if you're being tailed as you're heading back to your safe space there.
Mm.
You just hold up your red card going, I need a timeout. Scope.
Gotcha.
This is something that's important. I've always said with a book or a game, you want to make it feel like those characters are entering a river of events that have been going on before they got there. Now, this doesn't mean they're jumping in the middle. They might be at the very beginning of what's going on, but there are other events that led to this. It's the old thing of no story truly has a beginning.
Yeah. Story doesn't begin with the character. The character, like you say, enters a timeline.
Right, right.
No story ever began with a character.
Right. It's there are events in place, and even if that character is a total impetus of the story and brings the story into effect, that character still has a background and a history, and the people they're influencing and interacting with have backgrounds and histories. And that's what I mean by they're entering a river of events that have already been going on. You're not starting from zero. People that depend on them, and that could be the guy down at the soda shop who just expects to see you every Friday for your burger and your shake, or it could be some of the characters might have kids, or elderly parents, or a wife, or a husband, or a dog. So then there are other tools that can be used to tell the story. Flashbacks are one thing, which you have to use them delicately. Too many flashbacks really kind of becomes ugh. Parallel stories. This is happening at the same time where you can run more than one story. So this is, for example, you have a character that after your whatever you do for your day job, you go home and you deal with your family, and there is a second storyline happening there. So there are two separate series of events that sometimes intertwine, sometimes never even come close to meeting. That's very real life. Foreshadowing is great. Matter of fact, you watch, in the very first game you're in, you're going to deal with foreshadowing. I love to use foreshadowing in role-playing games because players forget about it, and then 8 to 12 game sessions later, it comes back into play, and they're like, oh my God, you told us this was going to happen, or that this was, and here it is. And they're always just kind of thrilled that it actually connected. Dream sequences, symbolism, atmosphere. To me, atmosphere is it's tied with description. Whenever I describe the opening scene of a game, I always want that to have atmosphere in it. So instead of you're in a bar and you're wearing nice clothes, I want it to be, you're in your favorite hangout. You can hear the drinks being poured, the murmur of the crowd, the dim lights, and that layer of smoke just hanging 3 feet from the ceiling. There's a smell of sweat from one side and the smell of overpowering cologne from somewhere in the crowd. And you're immersed in this murky environment, and you love it. This is your comfort zone. That sets an atmosphere, and it gives you a description. You have this picture of where you're at, which, like the biker before, it's going to be different from their image, my image, and everyone else's. Perhaps you're imagining all shiny brass and dark wood. Somebody else is imagining neon and what's that fuzzy material that you like to rub?
Nauga hide?
That's like fake leather.
Fake fur?
No.
Leather?
No,
Leather?
they make pants out of it at Ren fairs, and it's terribly period. You rub tights. Anyhow, you get the idea. Everybody's going to have a different.
Yeah, gotcha.
Now, to wrap up,
excuse me,
in the last couple minutes, some of the do's and don'ts they say, and I love some of these do's. Keep all the characters in mind. Make it tie every character into the game, as in the players. Encourage the role playing. Encourage the players to interact amongst themselves, separate from the game. So it's okay if the game is not moving forward if you, Andrea, and Kennedy are bantering in character. Because that develops. There is no better scene than Guardians of the Galaxy when they're arguing with each other. The story is not moving forward, but you're getting this character building.
Yeah.
You remember in the 80s. Do you remember the movie Tango and Cash?
Mm-hmm.
Sylvester Stallone and Kurt
Russell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're bickering. Story's not moving, but man, it's a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, players' input to move the game forward, because that, again, makes it personal. Things you want to avoid as a game master is taking away free will. You don't want to force anybody into one thing. You want them to willingly step in there. Make the choice to step in there. Hold on, I need my reading glasses. I wrote small. Predetermined plot. This is the whole thing of this is going to happen no matter what. I will have certain events that will happen no matter what, but they're outside of your immediate influence. In other words, if this building is going to blow up, it's going to blow up because it doesn't directly affect your character if your character's not there. It also creates plot motivations. So that is not necessarily a predetermined plot saying you're going to be in this building and there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's predetermined plot.
Yeah.
Letting luck rule. In other words, just following the dice instead of... Yeah, never let just luck take over the game. Yeah.
So pretty much your job is to set up the world and our job is to interact with it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That is the short of it right there. That's the concise breakdown of it. But it's a good time, and I know, especially with me just talking about it for 2 hours, it sounds like a lot. It's not, though. Daniel says, I like this microphone, but it picks up absolutely everything. Daniel, if you're using the same kind I have on the back, there is a little black thing with 3 different positions, and one is 90 degrees, 120, and 180. Make sure you have it set on 90 so it's only picking up mostly what's in front of it as opposed to the whole room. But yes, it has a certain sensitivity. This is where you go in and whether it's in Skype or your microphone settings, you grab that microphone sensitivity and you drag it down a little bit. This way you have to be within 6 inches or 3 feet or whatever, but you definitely don't want it picking up Richard with the ice maker or in the bathroom. And that's
that ice maker's a bit of a beast, isn't it?
It's okay, man. We were laughing. I'm sitting here staring at the camera like I'm disgusted, and the guys are commenting in the chat. And it's actually we've had this before. Who the fuck did we have that with? Andrea would remember, I think. We had somebody else not mute themselves and walk away, and it was just so loud you couldn't do much on the show but listen.
Sure.
And the people in the chat were just dying and typing LOL and RFOMAO, and it was funny because it's one of those great comedic moments that you can't plan that shit. And what do you do when it happens? But you roll with it. That's all.
You roll with it. Yeah.
And okay, it is coming up on 5 o'clock. Do you want to get the hell out of here, man?
Yeah. I gotta love you and leave you. But,
okay.
It's been a pleasure again.
Monday, 9 a.m. I'll bring some books while we're at Jersey's. We'll try to get you a character made up. And then Tuesday, you'll be at art class, but the week after, we'll bring you in and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, that'll be good.
See that? Toei just says, I remember that. It was a couple, and they had an entire conversation the chat heard and mocked. So, yeah, Toei, that was it. Was it Ansa? Anyhow. Okay, go on, man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, man. So Damon's at 9 o'clock.
Damon's 9 o'clock Monday morning.
All right, man. See you Monday. Bye.
Bye. Okay. Oh,
Let me find the mute button.
You find the mute button. You do that. Here, I could do this too. There we go. Okay. See, that's supposed to be my camera. Let's see here. Give me a second while I fix this up for everybody. Oh, look at that. It says you should be writing. Wasn't Tonsa? I don't remember who it was then. Let's see here. Okay. Got that. Let's lock some stuff down so I don't move it by accident. And see, I don't often broadcast alone, so I don't video capture. Let's turn this off. Take this and let's bring it here to start. And see about making it big. But we're not rating it. So let's make this full size. And then let's drag it to a corner up here and down here. There we go. Drag it out just a little bit more. And then adjust it as such. There we go. Okay, I haven't forgot about them. Hey, Andrea's back. Andrea, are you ready to be brought back in to the everything? To everything? You ready on Skype? I sound kind of robotic. That's my natural tone. So are you ready to be brought back, Andrea? Okay, I'm going to bring Andrea back in. Well, I think. Do I need to type that out? I don't know if she can hear me. Hi. Yes. Okay, let's bring Andrea back in. Now we'll do it like this. Look at that. We've got an Andrea now. Let's do this. There we go. Back to that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Now, Andrea, would you just kindly entertain everybody? And I'm going to go get another soda.
Okay.
Take me 30 seconds. Be right back.
Hi, everybody. So what did I miss? Oh, my goodness. I'm not talking to you. Go away. Hey, people, what did I miss? What are you up to? Got some bad news. They moved the Vag Expo sign probably to another farm. So when I find it, I'll take pictures. The one day I was going to do it, it was going to rain, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get out and traipse through the field to the, in the rain. So that happened. We got quite a few of you here. That's awesome. Glad you stuck around or hanging out.
Okay, I'm back. Daniel, do you not read the instant message group that we have? 7:30, dude.
We're not going to talk about him. What?
He asked when are we doing the tech check for Marvel.
Dude, we have a group for that.
Anyhow. Do I have something on my note? I do, don't I? What is that?
When I was listening on Twitch, it sounded kind of like a different mic. Rub your mic. Yeah, it's that one.
Okay. I don't know what it was.
Maybe you're... I don't know.
It could be with me dragging, adjusting everything.
Mm.
Daniel, don't you read the group? We said no hanging your head in shame. What's wrong with you? Anyhow. No,
I told them, but you were not listening to me. They moved the Vag Expo sign to another farm, so I'll have to find it. I know there's a giant billboard. It's all good.
I squeeze lime, and then I rub it on my hands because I love the smell of lime.
I'm hungry. I almost stopped at KFC.
Grabbed a chicken leg and ran out giggling.
Yeah, they don't like when I do that, though.
Okay, as for what you missed...
I was just talking to them, making conversation. Okay, go ahead.
I was going to make conversation about it.
Okay, make conversation. Listening.
I have like this whole page of things that I incorporate into my game mastering, and I basically went through that with Richard as a sounding board. And he asked the best question that experienced gamers totally forget that this question exists. And that question is, how do you win? What's the end of the game? What's the point?
Oh.
And this is a common question for somebody who has never gamed. You're like, because we're used to games, they have an end. They win. You win, or you don't.
I always win. I'm a winner.
So yeah, that was a great question, and I explained to him that I always answer that question with another question, and that is, what's the point to life? How do you know you won? And he said, well, get rich and die. I'm like, okay, well, that could be the same answer for your character, or it could be, go on to the next adventure or whatever. And he also brought this, well, he didn't bring this point up, but it triggered this thought in my head. And that is, with these games on your channel, it might be wise for me to have definitive ending points. Doesn't mean you can't start up again with the same characters and have that back.
Oh, yeah. With a new adventure, kind of like a new season.
Right.
They do with shows, yeah. The characters may change. You may have some extras, or yeah.
Precisely. But
that's a good idea.
Yeah, and it gives an out to any player that is like, hey, I need to go not be on this show once a week because I have to do other things for a while. But it also allows them to step back in, and it gives closure, etc. So, yeah, I might look at setting that up. I don't think I can go. It'll be exactly a 12-game season, etc. Because some days you guys just muck around and get nothing done, and other days
you can have an end point though.
Right.
So when we get to here, it's done.
Right. Well, I'll just have a story arc, and when we hit the end of that story arc, whether that's 4 games or 20 games, but I think I'll aim for 3-month story arcs. And you know what? I think I'll end at the end of each season. The literal calendar seasons. I'll aim.
That sounds good.
For June 21st would have been about when we started playing Marvel anyway. And once you can earn $20, you win.
I already won then.
Yes, she did. She won 2 times last night alone. Plus tip. Hey, Daniel, thank you. Thank you for tipping my tip. I tipped her. So, yeah, I think I'll do that. And I guess the next one would be, it's October 21st is the equinox, correct? Or somewhere in that, October 23rd or something. Andrea's looking it up.
No, I was chewing. It's around September. Hold on.
June, July, August. Yeah, you're right. September is beginning of October.
I believe it's the 21st. Let me look exactly for... Let me see.
No, Kennedy, not $10 ago. $50 ago. She just cut me a break and only paid me for my half go.
I thought it was a nickel ago.
It could be. Talk about chafing. Gonna need more lube.
Yeah, September 22nd.
So that's what I think I'll do. I'll aim for.
Because the equinox, I do keep up with it usually, but.
Yeah. And then the next one would be December, and then March, and then June, and then September. Yeah, I think I'll aim for that, and that way it gives us a calendar point.
Oh, something I want to bring up, because we're not at the end of this show yet, but close. Next week is Gin Punk Week on Talk at the Tavern.
It is.
I'm excited. I have outfits.
So what are we going to be doing on Gin Punk Week?
I don't know. I'll be dressed in, like, steampunk speakeasy stuff. I don't know what you got planned. I got outfits planned. That's about it.
No.
I don't drink gin, though, because I'm allergic, so something else.
True story. True story.
So what do we got planned? What do you got planned?
Like now?
For
Or
next
for
week?
next week?
For Gen Punk Week.
Okay, well, let me
Anything to... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
let me start with tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking right here. I think everybody already knows it. Everybody that's viewing, as far as I know, already has information, but I'm going to reiterate it anyway. Tonight on Andrea's channel, which I think she posted the link for it recently. Nope.
I'll do it again.
Um,
Go follow it for me, please, people.
we will be playing the special Swimsuit Beach edition
Mm-hmm.
of this superhero game, After Hours City Defenders.
TM.
And this is in celebration of Andrea reaching how many followers? Was it 50?
Well, I wanted 50. Now I'm close to 150.
Right. And this is also in celebration of her hitting affiliate last week. So, or earlier this week, 2 days ago.
It was like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Oh, time flies when you're doing this many shows in a week. Now, other good news is on Andrea's channel, and I'm only mentioning this because we're going over the gaming thing, and the gaming thing is the reason I'm, hey, we got ourselves a new follower. Thanks for joining us.
Here's
Does anyone
TM.
have a story about Wiener Stanley? Yeah, that's actually my brother's name. Wiener is a big dick, though. Not really happy with Wiener. Yeah, it's Wiener's been a big part of my life. Oh, the new follower decided to come in and be amusing, so I'm just playing along.
Oh, now I'm seeing it. Okay, sorry, I wasn't.
Yeah. Shanabran. By the way, here's to you, Shanabran. Thanks for jumping in.
Here.
Who doesn't have a story about Wiener Stanley? Everybody's got a story about that. We don't need another story about Wiener Stanley.
Does it have to do with the Stanley Cup? Because that's how I know.
That's what they call Wiener's jockstrap, the Stanley Cup.
Be an athletic supporter.
That's right. Hold a dick. So there we go. Right, what I was saying
Thanks,
is today's episode is largely because I've been brushing up on rule sets that I haven't used in a while for different games that I'm going to be running on Andrea's stream, which is for ease every Tuesday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. There is a Sunday game, but it changes up, so just look at her schedule on her page to see that. And we're playing Crypto Mysteries, which is steampunk horror with a comedy thread through it. Cornuts, which is a space opera with a comedy thread through it. And then After Our City Defenders, which is superheroes, which is 90% comedy with a 10% plot thread through it. So, oh, right, I was going to go into players. We now have, Thursday nights, we have 4 players, which is where I tend to stop it. I will take up to 5, but that 5th has to be a very special situation. Just like any time I take a 5th of anything. Tuesdays with Crypto Mysteries, we have Andrea, Richard, who was just on, and Kennedy.
This is going to be fun.
It is. And I'm looking for that 4th player for that, which I'm guessing I'll be able to bring in with Richard in 2 weeks. So we'll get the 2 of you.
I'm trying to find another female player.
You know, I contact Jeannie Wilkins, and she says she works every Tuesday night till 8:30. And I assume if she works till 8:30, she doesn't get home till 9 at the earliest,
later, yeah.
and then a little time to settle in. So we can't invite her. But yes, I would prefer another female player.
Me too, because just cause.
I was hoping for Crypto Mysteries to get at least 3 female players. What I would suggest if we don't is I think Richard...
Is Kennedy still listening? Can we just say he's...
I think he'd look lovely with a push-up bra and a wig. Now, Wednesday nights, we have yourself, my son Aiden, which we'll see if he sticks with us. That'll be up to him. Robert Turk, who played Gander Snitch as a character in his professional career, but is a great player, totally gets how it's going. And then Steven, who's Monkey from VandaliaCon, their Sound Alike guy. Now, he's never played before at all, but...
Really?
Yeah, he's never played any role-playing games, just like Richard. And I'm actually excited about having a few players who have never played.
Oh, yeah.
Because I like to show people you could pick this up whenever you want.
It's not that intimidating, and
No.
yeah, it's great. Yeah, I've talked to some of my female coworkers and some people, but it's a schedule conflict right now.
Hey, Toei, how's that Kickstarter doing? For those of you that don't know, Toei has worked on Grimtooth Traps multiple times from the 80s forward, as well as other gaming systems. And Grimtooth Traps is a wonderful cross-genre thing that's not specified for any gaming system. It's just, hey, here's a way to mutilate or kill your players. And I feel like it relates. Do you have a link to the Kickstarter? Is it still going? I followed it, and I haven't seen the 2-day bell warning. So let us know. Thursday, though, with the comics, as I said, we already have that filled with Andrea Elizabeth Pashensky, who is Pashesny. I'll get it. I've got it written down. John Millington, who is probably listening, but busy running his comic and gaming store. And then Daniel, who is definitely listening. So we've got almost a full group for each of them and a waiting list starting. Thank you so much, Toei. I am going to take a look at that right now and give everybody a report of beautiful. And, it's one of those things I flip to and it's like, 33,844. And then it flips to a higher number as I'm watching. 5 days left to go. They asked for $10,000. They have more than 3 times that, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And let's see, hold on, I'm flipping down to the stretch goals here, because inquiring minds want to know. Tomb of the Warhammer. Dungeon Crawl. Anyhow, good stuff. Check that out, guys. If you're not familiar with it, Google it. These things have been around since late 70s, early 80s. And they're fun to read. I would almost never use it. There we go. Everyone's afraid of Grimtooth, so they pledge or die. This is something about the games, going back to the previous topic, is the games are almost full. We essentially have one more open slot, unless if somebody backs out at the last minute. And that's out of 12 slots. These things fill up quickly.
And if you do want to play at some point, we could put you on the waiting list. That's not a problem, because when one campaign ends, there is another.
There's always.
And you can always follow around with the storyline and create your character and get that developed before you even play.
Well, something else I'll tell you guys is, and Andrea, I'm so sorry. That last sentence you said, I was busy formulating my next thought instead of listening. So I'll repeat what you just said.
I don't remember. Basically, there's a wait list. Campaigns always change. You can.
Here's the deal. Players come.
Follow the. Yeah, you can follow the story, create your character, all that good stuff.
Kennedy, okay. I'm going to use you. That's actually a great idea there, Andrea. But Kennedy, I'm going to use you, for example. Kennedy's got a life. If suddenly he decides he needs to not play on Tuesdays for whatever reason, and Kennedy bows out, then we have an open slot. And that could happen 2 weeks from now or 2 years from now. We don't know. But yeah, people come and go because life happens. And also with us doing certain story arcs, players might decide at the end of a story arc they want to take a break for the next 3 months. And we'll bring a different player in. By the way, if you ever step out of a position, you go back on the waiting list. You might take preference and move to the head of the list depending who you are.
And why you leave.
That's true. But I will.
Now, if you go into labor and you have your baby or your wife has their baby,
you know what?
Okay, we'll understand.
Nope, I'm not going to be understanding. They're bringing kids in. I'm kidding. What I'm trying to say is if you step out of the game and we replace you with another player, we are never going to kick a player out of the current game because you decide you want to come back. If you step out, whoever is in the game has preference and precedence over anybody who is not in the game. Now, out of a waiting list, perhaps that player who stepped away goes to the top. But again, that's basically strictly by my own prejudice. If I like you that much, I'll put you at the top of the list.
And if he likes you, but I don't like you.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. And vice versa. It's basically if the whole group is like, we love you, then yeah, you go to the top of the list.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the bonus of time put in, people, in life, not just in our game. So if you're ever at a job and you're like, why that guy get it? Well, that guy's been there long enough. Everybody likes him. It doesn't matter what your experience is. This is human nature. And we're here for fun. So instead of bringing in an unknown, bringing in a known factor is sometimes just better. So waiting list. Other characters.
I guess I was on mute. Okay.
Oh, what were you saying then?
Just agreeing with you.
Okay.
It's all good.
There is also a chance down the road, as our channels grow, Talk of the Tavern and Andrea Le Chat, as they grow, we will get more games or more gaming slots or whatever. So that's another thing for the waiting list. I will add you. By the way, I will have 4 waiting lists. 1 for each game, and then 1 that's any game. That's that. But Andrea, you mentioned this great idea of if somebody wants on the waiting list, they can create their character before they ever even come on the game and follow along with the game. That way, when they join in the game,
they already kind of know where their character is going to go. Because I know when I do a character, every so often I was like, oh, well, I want this, I want that. You have time to contemplate instead of just being thrown in there.
There's also the beauty of there is no reason, Win, talking Toei there, Win, if you're like, man, I want to play, but I don't want to play every week, I would so bring you in for a guest shot, for a 1-game thing.
Like a cameo appearance.
Precisely. Well, we watch the superhero television shows. And Constantine guest starred last season on Legends of Tomorrow for 1 episode. And yeah, absolutely.
You can be our Constantine.
Yeah. And not just you, but just other people who, I know well enough to know they're going to fit in and mesh nicely for 1 game and they get out. But yeah,
there's a few people, and I told them, I said, hey, I know life, but if you want to play a game, come in and we'll work it out.
And Toei says, yeah, I always like playing the hired specialist the party needs for a mission. Exactly. That sort of thing. And if we make your character broad spectrum enough, then it can come back for other things. And that way, like, Toei, we know you're very busy. And in case the viewers don't know, now they do. So it's one of those things. We offered to bring Toei into the game. Hey, you want to come play? And she's like, no, I've got 50 billion things going on. I'd like to, but it's not happening. And we went, cool, get it. But yeah, there are certain people like you who know gaming, know our personalities, and we'd be like, fucking pop in, then get the hell out.
And it would be fun.
For any of the games.
And, just say there's something in the mission, and it's someone, they could be a contact of another player.
Oh, I work it in. No big deal.
Yeah,
I think she would play, you remember Blacklist? Remember the person that...
the cleaner?
The cleaner, yeah.
Oh, I love that character.
Yeah. Reddington has this very serious, dour woman who he calls in to basically clean up messes. That mess might be a murder scene or whatever. There you go, Toei. And then you just let us. So, I mean, I could definitely imagine you coming into the Marvel... yeah, really, any of them. But yeah.
You have that personality where you could just spit out a line and...
It's good enough. We roll it.
It's funny.
So, and it's also, if you do make up a character for any one of them, keep it. Because we might bring you back. Or, you could play
You can make a character for all of them. Who knows?
Hey, there's Tracy!
Tracy! Oh,
Good to see you. Good to see you.
I don't know. I don't know if you follow my channel, Tracy. I'm an affiliate now.
She does. She's popped in for your games before.
She has. That's right, you do. I'm affiliate now, and tonight we have a game.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just excited.
So what affiliate means for you, Tracy, for Andrea is you can now cheer on her channel or subscribe or whatever. It's we invited Mike, her son, to play in the game, but we didn't invite her. Tracy?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you ever play role-playing games, but let us know if you do, because
if not, it's okay. We have 2 players that have never played.
And another one that hasn't played anything for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you can give bits to me on my channel tonight. If you want to check out game and see if maybe it's something you'd like to do, check out our game tonight at 8 p.m. The Marvel Superheroes.
Yeah, she's watched the superhero one. And
yeah, but tonight's the beach one.
I have kind of on purpose stopped mentioning the game systems and shifting it over to the game.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Titles. No. There's nothing
After Hours. City Defenders TM.
Right. I want people to think After Hours City Defenders instead of Marvel. Because Marvel, they're thinking Wolverine, Iron Man, Spider-Man. I don't want that on their brain when they come in to watch our game because it's very different.
They're swimming on the other side of the beach this week.
They are. It's, and the same for, when we're playing Core Nuts. I don't want them to hear Star Wars, expect Han Solo, and C-3PO when they get your guys.
Good point.
Instead. But I want them to know what game system we're using. So the gamers, I want to drop the game name. But
8 p.m.
I want the story name for everybody.
Yeah. Core Nuts. Yeah.
Which, and then Crypto Mysteries. Because, of course...
That one I'm looking forward to because that's new for me.
Yeah, and the whole feel of the game is going to be a delicious difference from everything else, and a little darker, a little more serious. I don't want to say it's going to be dark and serious, just a little more dark, a little more serious. Well, it will be compared to the others.
Yeah, compared, but not. There's still going to be some fun stuff.
Absolutely. And because in everything we will have laughter included. So that's just that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, which is why I'm doing this whole show today to kind of outline for myself more than anyone else. These are the things I like to include in my game mastering. And the crazy thing is here, Andrea, look at this list. Hold on a second. Let me pull this thing up so I can see I'm aiming it right. Okay. So you see that list? Those are all single words or a couple words to describe different things that I include into my gaming style. Now, in books, these are written out as a paragraph to 2 paragraphs each. So that's a lot to include in a gaming style, but these are all things I try to keep in my head for my storytelling. And as I said in the beginning of the show, this also applies when I write books, but it's different with games, so you have to balance things differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good times. And by the way, hello to everybody that's joined us. Make sure you're following the channel to be able to chat.
Yes.
And if by something you're just brand new to Twitch, make sure you confirm your email that they sent you. Otherwise, it's not going to let you chat. But we're glad to have you here. We are talking about gaming, which is something we do on Andrea's channel. At least 3 days a week, sometimes 4 days a week, when we have the 4th game set up for that week. And we will be there tonight, 8 o'clock, doing superheroes, like the frames you put around you and Travis. Well, thank you. Thank you. Those are all Andrea's doing. So I'll drop in on either the Marvel game or fantasy supernatural game, not into Star Wars world. Totally, that's why I say it's not going to be...
It's nothing like Star Wars.
Right. Think of it more like Firefly meets Three Stooges, which is...
With some Star Wars ships and speeders. That's about it.
It's being played after Return of the Jedi, before the new trilogy, so the Empire is breaking up. So they're still there, but the game is not focused around the Rebellion or the Empire. It's focused on basically they're mercenaries and they're being hired for anywhere to ship supplies, to protect.
Let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
it is nothing like Star Wars. You will not see my character in any Star Wars movies. I'm let's say around 3 foot tall, a mini assassin droid built by a 12-year-old child from parts from a junkyard. The wiring's a little wrong, and I waxed a Wookiee and stuck the fur on my face because I wanted a beard.
And for all you men out there, she meant like bikini wax type wax the Wookiee. Which, if you don't know how that's done, just look that up online.
Just Google that.
Go to YouTube. Check that out.
Ah!
There's Thunderheart. Thunderheart, I'm glad you popped on. I want to let you know the Wednesday game has not now filled, but I have put you on top of the waiting list. Just so you know, because you mentioned you might have a conflict on the Wednesday game, so I filled the spot. But I've got you at the top of the waiting list. If this other guy doesn't work out, I will check with you, but still let us know about that other game so we know where that stands.
And you can still make a character even if you're not playing right now.
Yeah, that's very true. That way you have a character ready to pop in when you pop in. Toei says my absolute favorite game system is Call of Cthulhu, which is very Gin Punk era friendly game, by the way. I have played it. Okay, Thunderheart. I haven't played it for years, though.
I've never played it.
I played it back I lived in
the
Ohio,
1800s.
So it would have been
1952?
30 years ago? Am I doing my math right? Yeah, I'm doing my math right. I would have been 18 or 19 when I played it.
So in the 40s.
There we go.
Got it.
10 years after the era. And I want, this is why, Andrea, because of Toei's reaction, that's why I want to take the word Marvel out. That's why I want to take the word Star Wars out, so people go, oh, this is a game that's a space opera. This is a game that's superheroes, instead of
I'm not singing
attaching the other values to it.
No, I got you. That's great. Great idea.
Perfect.
It'll take me a while.
It's
you
fine.
gotta remind me.
It's fine. Well,
I will not put a quarter in the jar, though.
No. I see what you did there. It's the big thing about these systems that I'm using the systems I am for very specific reasons. The superhero system I'm using is ultra simplistic. One chart, one dice roll. Good.
As long as you're not colorblind, you're all right.
With Cornuts, the space game, Firefly meets Three Stooges, I like that one because it's a very theatrical, dramatic type system that allows for a lot of creativity in what happens and gives the players control over that too. It demands story. And the same thing with Crypto Mysteries. The game system I've chosen to use for that, it is built around telling the story. So with any of these systems, it's all about the story. And the dice rolls are secondary. So there, we got that going. And yeah, Toei, there is going to be a bit of Cthulhu feel to the Crypto Mysteries, the Tuesday night games.
You want to show the Kraken?
No. Because that's not part of Crypto Mysteries.
It's not part of it, but it's just a Kraken.
I know. You've got to build the anticipation for the Kraken. You can't just whip the Kraken out every time somebody says the word Kraken. That's just wrong. Sometimes it appears, sometimes it doesn't. See, it hasn't appeared. It hasn't appeared. It hasn't appeared. It hasn't appeared. And look, it still hasn't appeared.
Oh, he's so cute.
It's Oh, by the way, for anybody that has been following that, giant lizard in the city.
Oh, so cute.
For the Kickstarter, for the 4 books, that should be clearing the bank Sunday or Monday. So there's him hiding in the woods. So at that point in time, I should be able to start moving forward. And there's me.
What? Oh.
And then I can move forward There you go. When an
Oh,
octopus wears its pants too low, it's cracking. Indeed.
that's funny.
All those, not hipster. What were they called before hipster? Gangsta? I don't know. Oh,
Ill dressed.
we, in the summertime, we quite often pull our curtains closed to help conserve the AC so it doesn't kick on. And today, we were just in the mood for sunlight. And I opened all the curtains in the house and let the sun come in, and I'm watching the trees and the wind. It looks so nice outside, watching the squirrels play in the driveway. The crows seek out
There's
my
a
nuts.
lot of squirrels out there romping in the woods.
Well, it's because I've been whipping my nuts in the yard.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
It was nice. I went and laid out on the back deck this morning in the sun.
Because it's hot and summery, but it's not what it's going to be in 3 days, where it's like mid-90s or whatever. It's just mid-80s today, and it's got a breeze, and God, it's a beautiful summer day. And that sounds wonderful there, Thunderheart. Walked my dog today, played fetch at the beach down the street. Now, were those two separate activities? You walked the dog, put it away, then went and played fetch at the beach? You just chase people's frisbees when they threw them, and they're like, who the fuck is that guy?
Like you do. You never know.
I'm just checking to see if I found somebody that do the things I do. Like you do.
He's clarified. I walked the dog to the beach and played fetch.
With the dog? Yipe! I got the dog. Anyhow, you posted videos. I'll check that out in a bit. I'm not going to check it out in the middle of the show. Watch a video for everyone. I only do that. I don't often do that. I do that sometimes. So anyhow, yeah, make sure you guys join us for this. And all next week here, we're doing Gin Punk, which means Monday night
Excuse me.
here on this channel at 8 p.m. We're going to be discussing speakeasies,
Yes.
bathtub gin, and gangsters.
Gangsters.
That's correct. And sorry, there's things outside. It's beautiful. And then
That's why my window's behind me.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be continuing to discuss Gin Punk. So maybe some. Have you ever watched Boardwalk Empire? And by the way, Monster Hunter, great to see you commenting. Good to see you. How are you? I have not.
Yeah. What is that?
I want to say now, Monster. Let me know if I do this wrong. I want to say that was a 1930s mobster type television show, but I want to say it was like HBO, if I'm not mistaken. And we got a new person, VCon. Good to see you. Here's to you.
You're here.
Mm-hmm. But no, I haven't watched it. Good show, because I love the gangster era, the 20s and 30s, but I have found very few movies and Atlantic City during Prohibition sell alcohol like they're drug dealers.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds good. It's but I found very few gangster movies or television shows that I've actually enjoyed, except for Johnny Dangerously. God, that's a great one. I love that one. Yeah, cheers to you there, TVCon. Glad to have you dropping in saying hello. It's to catch you up, we're discussing story structure, whether I'm a writer, so in books, movies, because I watched those, but also in tabletop role-playing games, which is what we do on Andrea's channel 3 nights a week.
I just posted it. Go follow. Check it out.
Tonight we're doing superheroes. It's inappropriate and silly, but still superheroes. It's a great time. Tuesdays, Crypto Mysteries, so in a steampunk world, Cthulhu meets Scooby-Doo. And then Wednesdays, we do Space Adventures, and it's like Firefly, me, with Three Stooges in it. So a lot of silliness, a lot of fun.
Can you imagine that crew, the Three Stooges as the Firefly crew?
Yeah, I've seen you play.
That's going to be us. Hey.
But I was going through story structure today and just how how important it is to get the characters and the players involved to motivate your story and bring it home, and what a delicate balance that is back and forth. Where did Daniel go? He's been so quiet. I'm used to him chiming in there.
He just messaged me. He's getting ready for the game tonight, I believe.
Probably getting into his Speedo or whatever. Oh, tonight. Special episode. And we'll look forward to seeing you tonight if you can pop in there, Beacon. Oh, thank you, Thunderheart. Appreciate that. Here's to you, man.
You're here.
Whoop, whoop. Okay. Tonight. Special. Beach swimsuit episode. So pop in for special surprises there as we squirrel.
The cat or an actual squirrel?
No, there's a real squirrel lurking in the yard looking for my nuts.
Yeah, he is.
Searching through the bush for my nuts. Yeah, he is. So anyhow, hold on, I spilled my ass.
Welcome to the tavern, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And just so you know, it'll be tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Right.
And he's the game master.
That's
it's gonna
right.
be fun.
Searching for my nuts. Which I need to go sling a handful of nuts into the yard. The crows are gonna. I'll do that as I'm uploading the show to iTunes and iHeartRadio and everything. Which, by the way, if you guys want, you can listen there. And if you are listening there, we do have a live show where you can interact via chat. Obviously, if you've been listening. So, it's like talking to people in the future when I say that. It's kind of weird.
Ooh.
Like, hi, I'm Travis from the past, and I'm telling you to come visit me in the present. Because you're listening in the future.
Twitch.tv/Talk of the Tavern.
You know, that's a great fucking idea to tell them where it is. I just obviously didn't think about it.
You just assume.
Hold on a second. What? I'm doing research for a client, and I just found the strangest name of a post office in Nottoway County. Blacks, whites. Well, that's very inclusive. That's good.
That's the name of the post office?
Now, where's Nottoway County? Is that in Virginia? Because I, for some reason, feel like that should be overseas in, like, Denmark or England or something like that.
I don't think they have counties over there.
I don't know if it's blacks, whites, or just it could be plural of each.
That shit, I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Especially since it's from 1860, pretty damn inclusive. Yes, it's Virginia. Okay.
All right.
Careful. We just read an article today. Okay, just... God, I hate the social climate right now. By the way, we're an adult
But I do want
show.
pizza.
That's true. For any of you just joining us, we're an adult show with adult humor and adult topics. If you can't deal with that, please go to your
See your way to the exit.
Because we are not your safe space. We are here to laugh about pretty much anything we can find humor in, even if it's inappropriate. Now, if you're up to the challenge of just having a good damn time without getting your panties in a bunch, unless if it's porn, we welcome you. So, okay, PSA done. Moving on.
Were you going to talk about the article?
No, totally
okay.
not going to. Don't even feel like addressing it. It's weird for me to be this.
You can address it to that post office.
There you go. That would be great.
See what I did there?
You know, I don't know. Basically, I'm going to summarize the article without mentioning it. Enjoy this. But it will all relate back to a Chick-fil-A thing from 5 or 6 years ago. There was a CEO of a restaurant that said something inappropriate, used a racial slur. And because of this, their stock has dropped like 5% in one day, 13% overall. The CEO has stepped down to be replaced. And I'm just wondering what everybody's quick one-sentence thought is on boycotting a company because the CEO says a totally asinine thing.
We can't boycott the country.
Yeah, we can. It's called shopping at Walmart. Anyhow, uh, true story there. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, at Thunderheart, I don't mind mentioning it or anything. I just don't want to talk about that person in particular and what was said,
Just don't give a
etc.
shit.
Because frankly, we're in such a social climate now. Even if you mention somebody else doing something stupid, suddenly you could be in the crosshairs, and
Yeah,
it's
the hell.
scary.
And we don't need to have Talk of the Tavern in trouble because they quoted an article of someone quoting something.
It's just like yesterday when Daniel ever so generously offered to put up a picture that he sent to us privately, but it had nudity. And I don't want that. It probably wouldn't cause a single problem with our viewers. No problems at all. But
But
that
that one
one
person.
chance, yeah, that somebody would have a tizzy and it would shut down basically what's our playground and what we
Yeah.
love doing. And it's just not worth that risk. You know, it's, yeah, well, they
They
love
like to take
to.
things out of context is what they like to do.
Good answer, Toad. Toad's ordering pizza tonight.
We don't have delivery. I'm jealous.
Yeah, we don't. We live in Cowtown. If we want delivery, we have to like lure a cow into our yard and slaughter it ourselves.
No, they'll deliver, but we have to drive a couple miles down the road to meet them.
That was hilarious when Domino's told us that.
Ugh.
Okay, we got 15 minutes left. I will be figuring out who to raid very shortly here. So let me refresh our raid page. And by the way, the person, the bonsai baby, that's who we're gonna raid today if they're still up and going when we end our
Have we
stream.
rated them before?
No, this is somebody that Daniel recommended today.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I don't have a problem with him being fired or quitting. I'm just not sure if totally not supporting the company because of one person's idiotic statement, in or out of context, is valid.
You know what, Kennedy? You just be quiet.
That's right. Shut up, Kennedy. We're not talking to you anymore. New York pizza is good stuff. Like bowling alley pizza.
Yeah, bring us some, okay?
Big,
Bring me some for the game
floppy,
tonight.
Greasy cheese that stretches for 3 or 4
Slices
damn
this
feet.
big.
Yeah.
Oh.
You could cut eye holes, wear that shit as a mask on Halloween. But not in Virginia, that's illegal.
To wear a mask, yeah.
But not on Halloween. It's okay on Halloween. But you have to be in a very specific place on a very specific day for a very specific reason.
And 2 years old or under.
How do they know how old your mask is?
Ugh.
Wait a minute. The pizza sucks regardless. Well, that is a possibility. It's I will not begrudge anybody their opinion on what is a good pizza place versus a not good pizza place. And he didn't lose his job. He stepped away. He quit. He stepped down. But I guess it's the same thing.
It's to save face as opposed to getting fired. It looks better on a resume to leave than to get totally.
The bottom line is he never has to work again. He's still getting money out of the deal. He just doesn't have to do the work. Here's a story for you, Thunderheart. Oh, bagels too. Yes, please.
Oh.
Onion bagels, everything bagels, poppy seed bagels. So here's a fun thing. The local newspaper here about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, decided to do an article because the KKK were going around handing out flyers, putting them on people's doors, recruitment flyers. So the newspaper got a hold of one of these flyers from the sheriff, from the local sheriff, and then prints it on the front page of the newspaper, leaving the website, the phone number, and everything else right on the application. Front page. Hold it up higher. There we go. Front page, above the fold, a full page. What is essentially an ad.
Wait, let me cover the numbers.
Don't worry. Yeah. Essentially a full page advertisement on the front page for the KKK.
For free. They didn't pay for that advertising, I'm sure.
This is the same paper that I was a reporter for before they did this.
This is the same paper I used to work at.
I did an article about food pantries. You know, people who get food and give it away to people who need help. And the editor wrote the title, and instead of putting Food Pantry Heroes, they put, hold it up, Andrea, Food Panty Heroes by Travis I. Sivart.
Mm-hmm.
The editor wrote that headline. I did not.
Food Panty Heroes.
Yeah, there's a video on YouTube I did all about Food Panty Heroes, and Andrea's off in the background, and every time I say it, she's yelling, Food Panty Heroes!
Oh, it's hilarious. It's my favorite. That's why I kept it.
But, yeah, it's, you know, and...
After hours. Sorry.
So,
very amused.
Just... and that's all I have to say about that. Should always use that. Put it in my bio. Travis Sivart, author of Food Panty Heroes.
You know that. Oh, our next campaign for our superheroes. That could be our next crew. Food Panty Heroes.
I really am torn on feeling good and excited and terrified of making up the villains for that superhero campaign.
Now it's butter. TM.
Here, we have Skidmark the villain coming into play.
Oh, that'd be fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine the drawings Elizabeth will do for that.
A jockstrap enters the field.
Oh, God.
Hey, thank you for the host. Good to see you, Angela. Thanks for popping in.
Oh. Yay!
Aqua
2 Hunger Force.
Yeah. I'd like to boycott so many food pantries. Wait, no, I don't. Edible underwear. See that?
See, that got Jamin talking.
Yeah, it's
That's a crazy adventure there.
Oh God. Okay, should I write that down? Is that our next story? Or is that what comes in September?
That would be fabulous.
Well, the thing
I
is,
would not object.
Well, with you know what I think it'd be better is that could be an opposing superhero team that you team up with or something, as opposed
like in Bizarro World or something. Yeah. Well, you know, this is the type of stuff that will bring viewers to my channel. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm doing this for the viewers.
And the social justice warriors will join in to support our
edible underwear. Sorry. Oh, that's great.
Thunderheart, you're kind of clever for a young man there. You're well done.
Oh,
I'm sure
Jesus.
the sessions for Food Panty Heroes will always be brief. That's good. That's good.
Now with lace. TM.
That's better than now with sweat stains.
Oh,
I'm so glad that the link he sent yesterday was a T-shirt and not underwear.
Don't encourage him. No.
No, he promised he'd never put something like that up again. God damn it, what's wrong?
See, that would be great. I'm thinking of all the villains, and now it's lace and sweat stains.
TM. You know, the funny thing is, I'm watching the viewer count go up as we're talking about this, and I'm like, where are you guys the rest of the time? Because we're like this all the time, and you should just come around for this.
Right.
Courtroom!
Yay!
Who's beautiful? You are.
You're just in time.
Yeah. So many underwear puns. A Rocket Man character could be main lingerie. Red Rocket. Red Rocket.
Red Rocket.
Finally got to rate us. We appreciate it.
You're awesome.
The kilt is boycotting the panties. Yeah, we could just have a guy in a kilt whining about Food Panty Heroes.
That'd be great.
Something fell in the other room, and Otter came running in here and jumped up.
I don't know.
Hey, guys, from everybody from Courtroom, glad to see you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I do want to warn you, we're horribly inappropriate but terribly fun. And right now we're discussing an article I wrote where the editor of the newspaper titled
Here it is.
put the headline, it was about food pantries, and they titled it Food Panty Heroes. And there is a video on YouTube about this that you can find on my YouTube channel. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good times, good times. Make sure you follow the channel for inappropriate behavior and content. And also tonight, because we're almost done here. Courtroom.
Yeah.
Love that you jumped
But
in. We're out of 5 minutes, and we take a 2-hour break. We come back on Andrew's channel that she just posted tonight. Check it out, guys. We're doing tabletop role playing, and it's the superhero group called After Hours City Defenders, and it's this special swimsuit edition as they go to the beach because Andrea has she's surpassed 50 followers and become an affiliate, so it's a special episode for that.
Mm-hmm.
Andrea, do you have that picture on your phone you can hold up of the team?
I do. Hold on one second.
Which the team consists of fullback, a 7-foot-tall woman, 4 foot wide at the shoulders, who is hyped up with septuplets.
It's her own soccer team.
Yeah, she birthed septuplets. Hold on a second. Let it focus. She's the one in the middle. To her right, in the green bikini, is Andrea's character Crusher, who has gravity powers and an attitude and rides a bike, smokes cigars. The lizard guy is actually an alien being that's reptilian, made of pure shadow. The guy behind him is an energy being who is caught in a transference and bonded with a human. His name is Phase. We're playing those tonight. They're going to the beach. There has been mention of the Kraken. We'll see about that. And I think
swimsuits.
That's right. And I am wearing my beachwear here, including my kitty cat swim shorts.
He may or may not be wearing a coconut bra later.
I may or may not. It's hard to say. You never know.
Let's see.
And Food Panty Heroes tied into this because we're talking about the next villain group or other superhero group that could be faced with Food Panty Heroes. And who would be on Food Panty Heroes? Let's see. We had Red Rocket. Who else did we have?
Red Rocket.
Who else? What other villain names are... Skidmark?
Oh. And then there was... What does he say? He said something about a Boxer Rebellion.
Oh, somebody said Boxer Rebellion? I like that. Oh, he said each show would be brief. Oh, wait.
And then Jamin said a whole new take on the Boxer Rebellion.
There we go. See, that would be great because superheroes are always wearing their underwear on the outside anyway.
See what you guys came into? You're welcome.
So there we go. Yeah, I'm just making notes so we could revisit this. It's a good time. Really? You're going to misspell the word heroes? Okay, there we go.
Well, like pantry.
O before E except after boxing.
Oh, he's funny.
Courtroom, appreciate the raid. Everybody who is bailing after coming over, thanks for popping in even for a minute and hanging out even for a minute. Appreciate that. And if you do stick around and find a great place, we don't do video games very often. This is all talk show. Go get some food, then sleep. Enjoy the rest of the night, guys. You have a great night, Courtroom. Thanks for popping in, man. Great to see you. And I lurk in your channel quite often. If not for anything, to give you one more number. So, yeah, little love, little love.
Is that
a kitten with a heart?
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Jay Paralove, that's nice. Hey, there's Daniel. Go on, bud. Go get some food. What are you eating? You're Scottish. Right. How often do you have haggis?
Have you ever had haggis?
See, I'm curious. I've tried to get Courthouse to come on the show and hang out for a few hours.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. The pizza. Ironic. That's what we were talking about right before you came in. We were talking about...
That's how Food Panty Heroes came about. Pizza.
Well, that's how the article came about.
Well, whatever.
The editor that titles and doesn't edit.
Oh.
I actually had it last week. Nice. I feel like if I had haggis, it needs to be made by somebody's grandmother.
What's your grandmother doing later?
Oh, did we do a shout out for Courtroom? Real quick, guys.
No, do a shout out. Yeah.
Courtroom. I got all excited.
Sit right back and relax.
You know, I'm not even. Hold on. Don't.
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
I'll do it, and everybody.
I totally was like not on the thing there.
Are we on a break?
No, but I went to do it and I was typing in the wrong thing. So, yeah, we're not on a break. We just... Okay.
There you go. I did a shout out.
We're going to raid. Let me do a quick refresh on this. Andrea, would you hit exclamation point raid, please?
Uh-huh.
And we are going to go over to Bonsai Baby that Daniel recommended, who this is an awesome woman who does woodwork, cooking, and gaming. So hang out for that. We're going to do some outro music and hit this raid. Guys, we love you. Hope to see you in 2 hours on Andrea's channel for inappropriate superheroes like we do. Thanks for joining us in the discussion shenanigans tonight. You are the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another.
Toast!
Now,
Toast.
raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night. See you in a couple hours, guys. You have a good one. Gonna wait for the raid to kick in here. I hit raid. I hit enter late. Here we go. Here it comes. Here it comes. Wait for it. Wait for it. Everybody copy paste that into there.